Всем привет! Да, начинаем сегодня чуть-чуть попозже. Вот. Текс. Был такой небольшой форс-мажор. Но вроде как все нормально. Я надеюсь. Вот. В общем, я думаю, что будем решать проблему, которая возникла, когда вернется Ильнур. Вот. Чтобы уже пришли и посмотрели знающие люди, скажем так. Вот. Произошли трубные шоколадки. Ну, что-то типа такого. Я просто знаю, что по поводу счетчиков, то, что, мол, типа, нам надо было счетчики поменять. Вот. Но я не думаю, что трубы и счетчики как-то связаны. То есть, потому что там как бы гудела труба у нас, а не счетчиком что-то было. То есть счетчик-то он нормально, он крутится, он считает воду, то есть с ним все в порядке. А вот то, что с трубой, непонятно. Ну, в общем, я думаю, что на всякий случай лучше вызвать и пусть посмотрят. Дело труба. Так, мы с вами закончили на моменте, да, в котором я не знала, что делать. Вот. Я посмотрела, что надо сделать. Потому что я бы на самом деле не додумалась, наверное. Хотя здесь, в принципе, все логично. Мы с вами, получается, сходили. Нам нужны были батарейки. Мы знаем, где топливо. То есть охотник нам сказал, что нам нужно ему найти топливо, принести, чтобы он дал нам батарейки. Вот. И мы все ходили вокруг да около, думали, как это сделать. Разговор новый не появлялся. Оказывается, ему надо отдать пропуск. Вот. То есть мы ему отдаем пропуск в госпиталь, а он, походу, оттуда выкрадет топливо. Вот. А он нам отдаст батарейки.
Don't call me that again, dude. Like I told you, that man died in the Great Wave. But you have aroused my curiosity. So, where is this place? Information like that is well worth the batteries you need.
A few hours ago, I found a way to get into the medical center you told me about in the outskirts of the city. It's much bigger than it looks like from the outside, and it uses enormous generators to power its electrical system. They're storing hundreds of barrels of fuel in a huge depot, which is hidden behind a fence that goes all the way around the compound. It's invisible from the outside.
Yeah, and I suppose you brought those hundreds of barrels to the camp to bargain with me.
No, but I do have the key that will let you and your men get them out of there without raising suspicion. It's a vehicle pass for entering the compound, stamped by the army.
That's a very interesting story, dude. I'll have to do some checking, but it sounds promising. Now, if what you're saying is true, you're going to make one weary old bear very happy. But if you're lying, I'll find you wherever you try to hide, and I'll maul you with my paws right on the spot.
So you'll give me the batteries in exchange for the ID?
Deal. The ID is now mine. Here are the batteries you asked for.
Ура, батарейки! Мы это сделали. Так.
Okay, let's see if this device still works. Huh, it works, but what do we have here? It's a list with hundreds of names, places, and addresses, and a map of the city. It's the device the cleanup brigades use to navigate during their raids. Sort of an electronic map. It looks like some satellites are actually still working after the Great Wave. I just have to enter an address, and this screen will show me where it is.
Надо ввести адрес. Адрес. У
So
нас есть
Beechwood
визитка.
Oracle is in fact a location, but what kind? Why was Reverend Blake carrying this card around? And why does that voice inside my head keep telling me to go there at any cost?
Ну, кстати, наш голос, точно, голос-то нам как раз-таки и говорил о том, что нам надо в буковый оракул. Может, как раз-таки на визитке написан адрес букового оракула.
But the GPS signal is very weak in here. I think it would be better to use it in an open area rather than indoors.
На улицу. Так, окей. Пойдем
Hey,
на
Mike,
улицу.
wait. Before you go,
Что такое?
I've been thinking about it, and now it's my turn to propose a deal to you.
A deal?
Yeah, listen. Me and my boys don't like leaving the camp any more than we have to. We're a bit too well known and sought after by the pigs out there, if you get my drift.
I see.
All that talk about the medical center, the fuel and the ID got me curious. I need to get the lay of the land, to check out some things and work out a plan. But I can't expose myself. It would look very suspicious if I were to be seen poking around out there.
Of course. And what do you need from me?
Bring us enough information about that depot for us to make a plan. I'm talking diagrams, coordinates, maps, or better yet, a photo. Bring back what I'm asking for, and I'll give you whatever you want in return. What is it you need, dude?
Что я хочу? Фух. Я не прошу многого, я только хочу, чтобы кто-нибудь вернул старый мир. Глупо. Ты бы это сделал, чтобы я мог вернуть свою жизнь. Понятно. Ты знаешь трейлер, где живет Род Эткинсон со своей женой? Вот, это уже что-то интересное. Паша, привет. Мем дня труба. Предлагаю придумывать пословицы и вместо некоторых слов подставлять труба. Труба не волк, в лес не убежит. Так, трейлер.
Do you know the trailer where Rod Atkinson and his wife live?
Yes, of course. I know Rod, that hypocritical busybody. He still thinks that with his old world morality, he can save everyone in the camp. He's a real pain in the ass, dude.
They have a young son, Colin. I can't tell you why, but I need to be alone with the kid, just for a few minutes. You have to make a commotion outside to keep Rod and his wife distracted long enough. Keep them busy for a few minutes. Find any excuse, but I need time alone with that boy.
You never cease to amaze me, Mike. I don't know what you've got in mind, but it's none of my business. Bring me the information I asked you for. Bring me that photo of the fuel depot of the hospital, and I promise you'll have all the time you need to do whatever it is you want to do with that boy. At my complete discretion, of course.
I don't know what idea is percolating in the hunter's sick mind right now, but I have to play along to avoid having to explain anything. I gotta make sure he doesn't find out about the boy's illness. Deal. But nobody gets hurt, okay?
Bring me that photograph of the fuel depot at the hospital, and we'll do whatever's strictly necessary.
Так что принести фотку мне надо фотоаппарат сначала найти. Зачем ему, блин, фотка, если он может спокойно ходить туда-сюда? Так, что он там записал? Сын Рода сказал, что у него для меня сообщение от нее. Черт, нужно поговорить с Колином любой ценой. Охотник поможет мне с этим в обмен на снимок больничного склада горючего. Так, мы к навигаторам, да, разбирались?
Okay, let's enter the address shown on the card from Beechwood Oracle, 24 Mametz Wood Street. The map shows me a place near downtown. Let's go have a look.
Глава 3. Оракулы и пепел. Получено достижение The Dead Zone. Зона смерти или что-то типа такого. Или смертельная зона. Пустая банка, солдат. Тощий солдат, толстый солдат. Пустая банка, мусорные баки. Назад. А назад это куда? Откуда мы вообще вышли? Так, окей. Брезент. Ну, скорее всего, никто нам не даст его потрогать. Электрический щиток. Сюда можно сходить, дверь жилого дома. Так, ну давайте сначала все осмотрим. Разбитая витрина.
More of the shattered glass that constitutes the window dressing of most of the city's stores. Despite the thickness of the glass, the Great Wave must have crushed it like paper.
Вывеска.
Great. The sign that shows the name of this place is burned beyond recognition. What was this place before the Great Wave? Beechwood Oracle, maybe?
Пожарная
They
лестница.
crisscross the building facade from top to bottom. And from what I've seen, this system of staircases is used only on the oldest buildings in the city.
крыша.
It reigns over the building with its crown of twisted antennas and broken air conditioners. On the rim, there's a shiny object. Although at this distance, I can't make out what it is.
А, да, там что-то сверкает. Вот здесь. Вот, да. Ну да, отсюда не видно. Непонятно, что там. Подвесные фонари.
3 huge lights struggle to illuminate everything they can with their precarious electrical system. They actually seem to create more shadows than light.
Сделал дело, отруби смело. Копейка трубу бережет. Дверь жилого дома.
In the old world, this building would have already been condemned and demolished as a ruin. But in the new world, it's got to be one of the best preserved I've seen in the city.
Мусорные баки.
No matter what you might think of the state of the city, these trash cans are practically empty. I guess generating garbage is a real luxury nowadays.
Пустая банка.
Someone put this empty tin can on top of one of the trash cans. Up close, it looks like there are crumbs of dried food stuck to the bottom.
Давайте заберем ее.
Judging from the traces of food, I'd say that this can was being used as a bowl to feed stray cats. In a city of ruins, only someone acquainted with one of these animal lovers knows that they're capable of things like this, and much more.
Окей. Деревянный столб.
The only light source for the area is hanging from this wooden post, and the tangle of cables and shoddy connections up there speaks eloquently of the quality and condition of the installation.
Брезент.
This enormous construction tarp hangs from up there like a stage curtain, covering half the street. I guess it's a vestige of one of the few reconstruction jobs that were started in the city, just after the Great Wave hit.
Тощий
This pig is
солдат.
watching the street with all the tranquility and indifference his impunity gives him. The more I learn about this new world, the more I'm convinced those bastards don't have human blood running through their veins. But what terrifies me even more is that they do, and in abundance.
Толстый
A
солдат.
billiard ball, armed to the teeth. That uniform looks a little big on him. It gives that psychopathic comical appearance. I'm afraid the brightest thing about this guy is the flashlight hanging from his belt.
Фонарик. О, фонарик нам пригодится, чтобы спуститься в люк. Электрический щиток.
Following its trail, I see that's where the cable that crosses the street ends, the one with the 3 streetlights hanging from it. One of the guards is resting his foot on it.
Ну, давайте тогда разговаривать. Вот интересно, у них диалоги разные будут, они вроде вместе стоят.
Hey you! What are you
Что
doing
такое?
here? Didn't you hear the curfew warning?
Relax. Look at his wrist. He's got a mole bracelet.
So you're one of those domesticated rats? You people disgust me. At least the rest of the worms at the camp have some dignity. But you guys, the moles, you're nothing more than a pack of treacherous stool pigeons.
No doubt, I have a great paragon of dignity before me. My hatred for these pigs has only grown. And more so since the incident at the camp entrance with the mole's children. Ruthless bastards. I just want to ask you guys a few questions.
Второй вопрос. Не знаете, что здесь было до Великой волны?
Do you know what the establishment was before the Great Wave?
I can't say I do. I lived on the other side of town. But judging from what's left, I'd say it looks like it was a bookstore. Looks like it burned down to the ground after the Great Wave.
Well, I for one am glad that nest of bookworms was destroyed. I never liked books. They always were a total waste of time.
Is that right? At first glance, I would have taken you for someone with refined literary tastes.
I think that description fits you to a T.
Watch your mouth, you dirty rat! And don't think that bracelet would protect you. I could blow your head off without batting an eyelid. Don't forget who's in charge here.
Вообще, кстати, буковый оракул вполне нормальное название. Я только сейчас поняла, вот когда они сказали про книги. Бук — это же книга с английского. Оракул, типа, ну, смотреть, наверное. Типа смотреть книгу, читать книгу. Ну, короче, вполне себе подходящее название для книжного магазина. Да. Почему вы здесь стоите?
Why are you posted here?
Just following orders. Rat, we're here to protect and serve the inhabitants of this city. That's our mission.
Yes, I can see how the people feel much safer with you around.
We're doing our nightly rounds, and we have orders to keep a particular eye on this neighborhood.
And why this neighborhood in particular?
Well, as you can see, this area of the city was left almost intact after the Great Wave. It was kind of a miracle. Most of the homes and businesses are still standing, so burglary attempts are pretty popular. If there's anything left in the city worth guarding, it's here.
You ask a lot of questions. Have you come to steal something, rat?
No, of course not. With officers of the law like you, I'd never dare do anything like that.
I wouldn't provoke my partner too much if I were you. He's plenty jumpy today, and he's sometimes rather unpredictable.
And as for you, blabbermouth, I watch my tongue if I were you. How I am is nobody's business. And you, get back to your nest, rat!
Оракул-предсказатель же. От латинского оракулюм. Говорю, прошу. Ну ладно, предсказатель так предсказатель. Я думала, что это как-то с глазиком связано. Как прошел вечер?
So how's the night going?
Very quiet, except for a shooting at the entrance to the city a few hours ago. I think someone tried to steal some food. And when that happens, you have to act decisively. That's our duty.
It would be a fantastic night if it wasn't for those revolting cats. This damn neighborhood is infested with them.
Cats?
My partner doesn't like cats, and tonight they've been howling non-stop since we started our rounds.
Filthy creatures, dirty and pestilent. They're to blame for everything.
I won't bother you anymore. Keep up the good work.
Ну, давайте попробуем
Great
потрогать.
idea. Should I just ask the animals in uniform to please get away from the panel so I can poke around in there?
Да. Ой.
Shut up, you filthy beasts! Goddamn mangy animals, get out of there! I'm going to gouge out your eyes one by one! Skedaddle!
But what is your problem with cats?
Those cats are to blame for everything! They're what brought the disease to the city! They're what brought the virus that infects the dissolved!
Here we go again. I've told you 1,000 times. That's nonsense.
Of course it's not nonsense! I heard it from the friend of a friend who works in a research center!
Those poor creatures aren't to blame for anything.
Shut your face, you worm! You see that? It's comical! Rats defending cats! The world's been turned upside down!
Yes, it is comical. Cats being chased by pigs. In any case, those poor creatures can rest easy. That guy's arteries would burst before he'd be able to catch one of them.
Может, их чем-то покормить? Давайте попробуем вот сюда сходить.
Those two pigs seem to be watching that entrance very intently. They probably pumped me full of lead before I got a chance to turn the doorknob.
А сюда? Сюда можно сходить. О, монитор. Заблокированная дверь. Книги в порядке. Куча книг, обугленные, горелые полки. Давайте по порядку. Обугленные плакаты.
Burnt paper. The whole place is full of it. Hey, wait! One of these posters has a photograph of Reverend Blake on it. The Beechwood Oracle Bookstore invites you to a reading of The Annihilation of Time, where you can meet the book's author, Edward Blake. That explains why that deranged preacher had the card from this place in his pocket. On the other hand, I no longer have the slightest doubt as to the name of this establishment.
Так, магазин нужный нам. Понятно. Только он еще и писатель, и его книги, наверное, здесь продавались. Куча книг.
They're what's left of the cinema section. Only a couple of biographies survived the fire. Let's see. Dario Argento and John Carpenter. I don't have a good feeling about the deep red of the cover. I'm not going to take one.
Полученное достижение Дипрет. Не знаю, ему чем-то красная книга не понравилась. Обугленная
A
книга.
copy of Heart of Darkness, with practically nothing left but the cover. A
Так, что
copy
там
of Heart of Darkness,
сейчас сгорел почти
with
полностью,
practically
осталась
nothing
только
left but the
обложка.
cover. I don't need to look through these pages. I've already seen the horror out there.
Горелые полки.
In better times, they must have been overflowing with literature. Now they look like the aftermath of one of those book burnings in the old days that maybe aren't as distant as they seem.
Книги в порядке.
Ray Bradbury, H.G. Wells, George Orwell, Philip K. Dick. This shelf must have been part of the science fiction section. Although I suppose that after the Great Wave, it would be more fitting to move them to the current events section. No, I doubt there's anything in these stories that could surprise me. Dystopia. Could be the city's last name. No,
Второе
Dystopia.
название
Could be the city's last
антиутопия.
name.
Это он так быстро сказал на английском, а на русском очень много слов было. Деревянные доски.
It looks like only some of the loose boards from the shelves survived the fire.
Оказывается, в хорроре The Quarry есть кооп, и она от разрабов Dark Pictures. Не знала, я думала, она соло. Ну чё, нашли кооп, получается? Ты хотел сказать, нашли хоррор? Осталось задонатить на хоррор. Собрать. Так, досочки у нас есть. Досочки.
Since it's made of wood, I can use the nails to attach something to it. But what? I don't think it would do any good to connect the wire to this. Let's see. I'll use the rusty nails to attach these two objects together.
Во. Теперь она с ножками. Вот, теперь она называется колыбелька.
Using tons of imagination, we can say that I've built an improvised and primitive cradle. Oh God, it's horrible.
Главное, что она теперь правильная. Монитор.
This screen doesn't look any better than the rest of the place. The fire turned it into a glob of plastic and glass, and there's nothing left of the computer it was connected to. No, computers are a deplorable waste of time.
Компьютеры
when the
просто
hardware you're
пустая
trying to
трата
use got
времени.
wrecked in the Great Wave.
Ну, на данный момент, наверное, да, потому что у них тут не до компьютеров. Заблокированная дверь.
The sign says, Emergency Exit, Beechwood Oracle Bookstore. Do not block. Well, it seems that in spite of the warning, this door is indeed blocked.
Давай попробуем открыть.
I don't think I'm going to be able to open it that way.
Давай попробуем с помощью ломика.
The sign says, Emergency. Well, it seems that in spite of the... Doesn't look like it's going to be complicated to open this door with the crowbar. Done.
Готово. Так. Мы дальше можем пойти. Ну-ка.
Hey, wait a minute. Who the hell's over there?
Увидели меня.
I don't see
Я
anything.
ничего не
Look at that
вижу.
building. I saw something moving in that shadow on that wall.
I think you're a little paranoid tonight. I told you to
Я поняла,
relax.
свет надо
Come
выключить.
on, take a deep breath.
Shut up! I bet it was one of those cats. All this is because of those pestilent beasts that have been bothering us since we got here. I couldn't stand them.
I better not let those two psychopaths down there see me. I should be very careful.
То есть, получается, я никак не смогу.
Hey,
Да?
wait.
Да. Надо
I
отвлекать.
don't look. Come
Shut
Надо
all this.
I better not.
оттуда их как-то отогнать. Да, что-то сделать. Выключить свет. И тогда все получится. Но нам нужна тогда какая-то еда. Тухлая рыба, точно, блин. Чё я только сейчас додумалась об этом. Рыба, которую он не хотел даже брать в руки.
Okay. I'll use the can to avoid touching those disgusting fish with my hands.
Вот. Теперь надо выманить кошечек.
How could I use this can and its revolting contents here? Use this here? How? How could I use this?
А как мне тогда интересно? На мусорке. Ну да, на мусорке.
There you are, you mangy beasts! So you dared to come out, did you? Now I've got you! Ow!
Господи.
Cats! Sooner or later I'll get each and every last one of you! I promise you!
Don't get mad. Your technique's improving. You almost got one this time.
Shut up!
Так, теперь они отошли, я могу полазить.
Now I get it. This is the system that controls the amount of current that reaches each of the streetlights.
То есть это ярко, меньше, меньше, ярко. Значит, надо вниз. Светлее, светлее, вот так. Может, наоборот, надо, чтобы полностью светило. Во. И перегорит.
What
Да-да-да.
the shit? Why does nothing work right in this filthy city?
Looks like a voltage surge. Suppose you think the cats are to blame.
Shut your mouth or I'll shut it for you! I'm not letting those flea-bitten beasts out of my sight! No chance, mate!
Так, давайте сохранимся. Все, теперь мы можем подняться наверх.
Hey, wait a minute. I've seen this place before. I've been here. I recognize this rooftop. Those trees, the park, the statue. Tomorrow comes today. Of course, the photo from the poster. It was shot from someplace in this very building. But what's the meaning of all this? And could it be that the voice wasn't actually trying to lead me to that burned out bookstore down there, but rather to this building? To this place?
Ой, господи. Меня пугает вот это вот.
Starting again. It's amazing. Everything's changing. Everything. Everything is mutating, and I haven't even moved. I don't understand. I don't understand anything.
Привет, Брина. Перепугалась чего? Что случилось? Апа, привет. Дэм, глянь свою задержку от света. 3 секунды, 15. А то, что ты тут в столбе копаешься, вообще не подозрительно? Нет, не подозрительно. Еретик, спасибо за обнимашки. Я не хочу, я только что смотрела. Все, верните меня. Так, можно спуститься вниз. Давайте сначала все осмотрим. Антенны.
From what I heard, all telecommunications collapsed in the catastrophe. It seems like it took the Great Wave only a few seconds to turn all of our technology into scrap metal.
Статуя.
It's a sculpture from my poster. Maybe it was an allegory of happy fatherhood until the Great Wave turned it into a depiction of Saturn devouring his children.
Парк.
These benches, fountains, and statues are in a ramshackle condition, whereas the vegetation in this park is almost completely recovered since the catastrophe. Well, if that proves our failure as a species...
Куча
A
вещей.
ton of useless objects are piling up in this corner. Nothing interesting. I guess that's the reason the neighbors left them here.
Ведро.
It's an empty, rusty bucket. Part of all this junk left behind. So this is the gleam of metal that seems so interesting from down there? What a disappointment.
Давай заберем. Ведро. Зачем нам нужно ведро? Это мы смотрели кондиционер.
The blades of this contraption must have stopped turning months ago, and I don't think doing without it is the owner's biggest problem right now.
Пойдем сходим вниз. Еще сюда можно куда-то выйти. Укрепленное
The
жилище.
front door of this apartment has been reinforced with various locks and bolts. Despite the surveillance by the soldiers, the people who live in this building must be terrified of burglary and looting.
Металлическая табличка.
There's a metal plaque on the wall next to the door. Michael Argent, photographer. I can't believe it. This is the apartment of a man named Michael, an apartment
Так это
located
мы.
above the Beechwood Oracle bookstore, and in the building where the photograph on the poster was taken. Can all this really be a coincidence? It's hard to believe, but is it possible that the voice in my head has been guiding me to my own front door?
То есть мы фотограф, и мы сфоткали парк, который потом напечатали на плакатах.
An
Дверь.
ordinary wooden door, one that's a whole lot less ostentatious than the neighbors.
Рукописная
There's a
записка.
piece of paper stuck to the door, and it looks like it has a handwritten message on it. Let's see what it says here.
Привет, Майкл. Мы уже давно пытаемся связаться с тобой. Где ты пропадаешь? Мы начинаем серьезно волноваться. Крису нужно срочно с тобой поговорить. Зайди к нам в редакцию газеты. Теперь мы живем там. Сара. Ну то есть я, короче, фотограф была для какой-то газеты.
Who
Понятно.
could Sarah be? And this Chris, could he have something to do with the person I saw in my vision?
Ну, скорее всего, не знаю, какой-нибудь там редактор или директор газеты.
Of course. It's locked, and I think it's better if I don't try to pick the lock. I could be mistaken for a burglar, and the last thing I need right now is for someone to call the guards patrolling this area.
Я бы вскрыла
I have the
ломом.
creepy sensation that someone's spying on me from the apartment next door. It might be nothing more than paranoia, but just in case, I'm not going to force this door open.
Окей, пойдем вот сюда.
Those they probably pumped before I got a chance to turn.
Подожди. Откуда я вышла? Если я здесь оказалась. Я там спустилась. Это получается быстрый выход на низ. Нам нужен ключ. Где может быть ключ от моей собственной квартиры? Не знаю, если
I don't think
закрыть
I'd
там.
gain anything by using this here.
Нет.
It's the note I found on the door to the apartment.
Не, ну мы, конечно, можем отнести колыбельку сейчас.
Isn't it time for you to go back to your nest, rat?
Я думаю, почему меня быстро не отпускают отсюда?
That ignorant bastard is starting to get on my nerves. Yes, I do have to be going. By the way, how did the chase go? Were those cats too quick for you?
You'd better go. It's not in your best interest to get my partner any more agitated. Not tonight.
You shut your mouth, you rat, or I'll shut it for you! I won't warn you again! Those beasts are possessed, and I'm going to exterminate them, one by one, with my bare hands if I have to!
I'm sure that would make you the pride of the force. Just one more thing. Try to stay away from the trash cans next time.
Сейчас что-то будет.
I've warned you, you filthy rat! You've worn out my patience! Ow.
Не, ну ты сам напросился. А меня фонариком ударили. Ой, минус зуб.
Come on, leave him alone. You'll kill him. He is a mole after all, and it's in our interest to keep him alive. Come on, let's get out of here.
Well, you're safe for now, but I have a very good memory for faces. Another day, I'll finish what we started, Rat. I swear it.
Фонарик. Все это было ради фонарика.
That pig must have left the flashlight on the floor after hitting me, and then forgotten it there.
Я надеюсь, он работает.
An army flashlight. And of course, I suppose it doesn't have any... Yes, it has batteries. And it works.
Вторая пара
Will
батареек.
this change my luck?
Надеюсь. Пойдем сюда сходим. А, ну так вот. Получается, я отсюда выходила. Понятно. Так, что еще? Что еще? Так, все? Все? Да? Потопали отсюда. Что нам еще надо? А, колыбельку я хотела отдать. Давайте отдадим. Мне кажется, или у нас пятен стало побольше на рубашке на белой?
Now I can rock my baby to sleep and sing to him. But now I need you to find the baby. I won't tell you your secret if you don't bring me my baby. Bring me my baby boy, Mr. Sleepyhead.
Okay, don't worry, Rose. I'll do it.
Так, хорошо, колыбельку я отдала. Но пока что у меня нечем потушить, чтобы забрать здесь ребеночка. А, так ведро. Ведро. Где была вода? Вода, вода, вода. Вот здесь у меня была вода.
Okay, I'll use the bucket for what it was designed for, to be filled with water.
Так, отлично.
Here goes. Maybe we can still salvage something from the fire. Now that the fire is out, I don't intend to carry this rusty bucket around anymore. I'll get rid of it.
Ну вот. Взял, выбросил хорошее ведро. Пепелище.
Burned remains of clothes, books and toys. That's all that's left of the bonfire Rod lit.
Глазок заклеим. Я это и хотела сделать. Но нельзя.
Oh no. It's starting again. It's amazing. Everything's changing.
Нет, Дэми, его же не подстрелили, а просто избили фонарем.
Everything is mutating.
Кровь там,
And I haven't even moved.
из рта,
I
не
don't
знаю.
understand. I don't understand anything.
Расстояние до стримера какое? Почти 300 километров по прямой. У нас 10 минут назад случился очень-очень громкий взрыв. Я думала, что где-то взорвался дом, и оказалось, что это военный самолет со своей тупой турбулентностью. Называется у самолета во время тряски газики. Радиоактивные, блин. Стрёмно, стрёмно.
Oh no.
Так,
Here comes...
выпустите меня, пожалуйста.
Good
Если
God.
я стою на месте, это не значит, что надо показывать одно и то же. Обгоревшая
The
кукла.
head of one of Colin's dolls is sticking out of the charred mess.
Забираем. Какая ты страшная. Интересно, ей пойдет такая?
It sends shivers down my spine to think that this hunk of plastic belonged to little Colin. It's a sinister image, considering the boy's fate.
Ну, давайте попробуем, отдадим. Если не понравится, то пока оставим.
I'm not proud of what I'm about to do, but I need to find out that secret Rose is keeping from me. And if she wants her baby, I'll give her back her baby. I brought you your baby, Rose.
Did you bring me my baby? Did you bring him? Thank you so much, Mr. Sleepyhead. You kept your word. You brought me my baby.
Now I need you to tell me that secret you promised to reveal if I brought what you asked.
Yes, our secret. I have something that belongs to you, Mr. Sleepyhead. It's the key that opens your chest of dreams. And now, it's yours again.
Ключ
But
от
it's a real
квартиры.
Where
Да.
did you get it?
I found it in
Да-да-да.
your jacket after Rod and his wife gave me your clothes. When I got to my room, the key fell on the floor and made a clinking sound. I had just seen you sleeping in their trailer, like a big bear. And then I figured it out. It was the key to the chest where you were keeping your dreams. Because you like to dream, don't you? Of course you do. That's why your name is Mr. Sleepyhead.
The key that opens my chest of dreams.
Thank you very much for your help, Rose. Take good care of your son.
I should be going now.
No, please. Don't go. Don't leave me here. Now that I found my baby, I have to get away from here. Far away. I have to get away from the haunted castle. If you leave, more men will come and hurt me, and they'll lock me up in the dark again. And I can't stand the dark. That's when those soldiers come back and take me with them. And now they'll want to hurt my baby, too.
The hunter was clear. I mustn't get mixed up in his affairs, or there'll be hell to pay. I'm sorry, Rose. I can't do anything.
Mr. Sleepyhead, I can't stand it anymore. Don't let them touch me again. Please help me. You have to get me out of here. Like the knight in the stories. You're my knight, and I'm your princess.
Good God. This is unbearable. Victims and executioners. That sums things up. And what was I? What was my role before the Great Wave? Damn it. I can't just leave that poor girl to her fate. I have to do something to save her, even if I don't know what that is yet. I'll help you, Rose. I'll help you get out of here.
Thank you, Mr. Sleepyhead. Do you promise? Will you be my knight in shining armor?
Yes.
Как? Как мне ее спасать? Меня заинтриговала записка, которую я нашел на двери квартиры. Кто такой Крис? И что может скрываться за этой дверью? Вытащи меня отсюда, Майкл, умоляла меня Роуз. Кто-то должен что-нибудь предпринять, пока еще есть время. Ну, я зато знаю, что это ключи от квартиры моей. Это точно.
It's something that belongs to you, and it's from before the Great Wave. That's what Rose said. The key that opens your chest of dreams. Let's see if my intuition is correct. Yes, the key that opens my chest of dreams is a key that in fact belongs to Michael Argent, photographer. The key to my own apartment.
Рабочий шкаф. Так, ну, давайте по порядку.
A
Полки.
shelf with photos, discs, and dozens of books in every imaginable size and color. This must be the repository for a big chunk of Michael Argent's personality and tastes. What for? None of these titles means anything at all to me. It's like looking into a mirror and seeing a reflection you no longer recognize staring back at you.
Угу, возможно, потом понадобится. Картотека.
It has a multitude of little drawers, all labeled in alphabetical order. The existence of something so logical and orderly in this place surprises me. Judging from the state of my place, I was obviously a rather messy person.
Аккуратным, ну, не знаю, ты бы тогда не вел бы картотеку, наверное.
Alexander Tribune. That's the name of this newspaper. Now I understand. This file cabinet holds copies of newspapers and magazines my photos appeared in. It seems like as a photographer, I was very fond of my own work.
Неплохо.
Bjorn City Paper. The title of this publication appears in the front page. First, I'll put the newspaper I took back in its place. As much as I might like my old photos, I have no intention of carrying around any more paper than necessary.
То есть я могу таскать с собой только
I
одну.
think it will be hard to find a way to use
Причем тут у нас...
Alexander Tribune. Cottage Times Register. That's the name of this newspaper. First, I'll put the news as much
Мне нужна
Central Outrider. The title of this publication appears
конкретная бумажка.
Benton Heights Post, one of the many newspapers stored in the filing cabinet. Disney Banker. That's the name of this newspaper. Dauphin News. The title of this publication appears in the front page.
Вот интересно, я знаю название это или
Elk
нет?
Grove Echo, one of the many newspapers stored in the filing cabinet. First, I'll put the news as much Empire Point Magazine. That's the name of this newspaper.
Капец, тут...
Fairview Vanguard.
Да, тут дофига, мне кажется. А чё его так много где опубликовали?
Zero Time Alternative News. The title of this publication appears in the
Возможно, нам надо узнать...
It's the note I found on the door to the apartment.
ТНТ. Возможно, это название, сокращенное название газеты, то есть 3 буквы ТНТ. Давайте попробуем. ПРСТ.
Sandy Ridge Sentinel, one of the many news.
Нет.
Solstice.
Нет.
Today Progress. The title of this.
Нет.
The New Truth, one of the many newspapers stored in the
Вот.
filing cabinet.
Вот. ТНТ.
First, as much as I'm.
Это то,
Union
что
Country
надо.
Mess-
Да. 100%. Вот, на ней логотип точно такой же.
TNT stands for the New Truth. The masthead of this newspaper matches the letterhead on the handwritten note, and it's obviously not a coincidence. The New Truth. The newspaper for those who have woken up. It looks like a decent publication, even though it was produced on a shoestring budget.
Газета для тех, кто очнулся от сна. Тайна неведомых огней в небе. Над Токио пока не раскрыта. Необычные потрясающие вспышки неизвестной природы продолжают загораться в ночном небе над столицей Японии. Местные власти не дают официального объяснения данному феномену. Имеются сведения о серьезных электромагнитных отклонениях в зонах наибольшей активности. Ходят слухи, что правительство готовится немедленно закрыть границу государства. Текст Крис Бланстоун, фотографии Майкл Арджент.
The address of the office is at the bottom of the first page, and the article on the front page is under the byline of one Chris Blunstone.
Это то. Понятно, так. Связано. Окей. Подожди, он же
The New
сказал,
Truth. It
что...
looks like a decent publication. The address of the office and the article on the front page. The address of the office
Адрес
and the
издательства... Подожди, адрес. Может, в
It seems like a
навигаторе
good
есть
idea,
адрес?
but the GPS signal is very
Короче, вот. Можно посмотреть в навигаторе, наверное, адрес, потому что он говорит, что есть адрес на газете. Пустая
as
бутылка.
dry and as empty as the contents of my memory. I see various liquor bottles scattered around the room. That explains the odor I find so unbearable.
Музыкальная шкатулка.
The corner of a photograph peeking out of this old music box.
Что за фотография? Опа.
It can't be. It's me. This photo. I remember it. I remember this photograph.
Please, Michael, help us. Only you can do it.
And this woman she's Emily. She's my wife. Now I remember her. The person who's been communicating with me all this time. Emily.
I love you, Michael.
and I now pronounce you.
Don't ever leave me.
I won't.
I have something to tell you, Michael.
Are you really? Oh, yes!
Things are not going well between us, Michael. You know that.
It's only a rough patch. You'll see. It's all your fault!
You have to get on top of this, Michael. It's destroying both of us. I'm afraid of you.
Shut up! Shut up! Everything will be different. Remember that vacation we took to the beach? And we were getting to know each other? Everything will go back to the way it was.
Promise me.
I promise. Oh, Emily, what does all this mean? Where are you? How can I find you? What are these messages you keep repeating in my head? I've lost my mind. I've lost my mind. That's the only logical explanation for this. Oh, Emily. My poor Emily. Where are you? How can I find you? Stored safely inside this box. This is the only photograph I have left of Emily.
Тилбер, сороконожка, привет. Я могу себе ее забрать?
This melancholy music makes my hair stand on end. I seem to be hearing the sad voice of Emily in every note. Where are you? How can I find you?
Окно с видом на
It's
парк.
exactly the same view of the park and the statue that appears in the photo on the poster. No doubt this must have been one of my simplest and most lucrative jobs. I completed it without even leaving the house.
Лампы.
This must be the corner where I did my least complicated photographic jobs. Just a white backdrop and these two shattered lamps to light the scene.
Балка.
Whoever designed this building didn't go to too much trouble to conceal the structural elements. There are pillars and wooden beams all over the place. A line of tiny screws holds up the white backdrop that hangs from the crossbeam.
Задник для
It's the
съемок.
backdrop I used for the photography I did at home. It's hanging down from that wooden beam, held in place with screws. No, I'd only rip it if I tried to pull it down without first taking out the screws.
А он тебе нужен? Открутить. Может,
I
ломиком?
wouldn't waste too much time on this. Pounding on the screws holding the fabric won't do anything to loosen them.
Рабочий
The
шкаф.
outside of this closet is covered with photos cut out of magazines and newspapers. It looks disproportionately huge in this tiny apartment.
Такой огромный шкаф и такой маленький фотоаппарат в нем. Так, фотоаппарат.
Wow, a classic model of that famous brand of instant cameras gathering dust on one of the shelves.
Интересно, он рабочий?
A somewhat antiquated model of an instant camera.
В
Despite its
отличном рабочем
appearance, it
состоянии.
seems to be in perfect working order. I only see one problem. It has no
В
filming.
нем нет пленки, понятно. Окей. Фотик я нашла, чтобы сфоткать топливо. Осталось найти пленку. А еще я хочу сходить в этот... Раз у меня есть фонарик, значит, можно спуститься в люк. Вот что я хочу проверить.
Okay, here goes. I'll turn on the flashlight before going down any further. Great. These tunnels are a real labyrinth, and I'm afraid that the map on the cleanup brigade's GPS only shows the city at street level. There's no reference to the sewers in the GPS. I'd better turn back before I get lost. This could be very
Мне
dangerous.
нужна карта, я поняла. Мне нужна карта канализаций. Ну, давай тогда смотреть
Of
газету.
course. The letters T and T on the letterhead of Sarah and Chris's note stand for the newspaper, The New Truth. I'll enter the address of the newspaper office shown on the front page. The map indicates a place near the main avenue of the city. Will it still be standing? Let's go find out.
Глава 4. Старая и новая истины. Что-то мы как-то очень быстро главу прошли.
Good God, Michael, is that you?
There's no question about it. That's the person I saw in my vision. The person mentioned in the note I found in my
Chris.
house. What was his name? Hello, Chris.
Come in quickly. It's dangerous to be out on the streets at this hour. Michael, I'm so glad to see you again. After all that time without hearing from you, Sarah and I feared the worst. But tell me, why didn't you come sooner? Where have you been all this time?
From his enthusiastic welcome, it looks like this man and I were good friends in the past, before the entire world collapsed. But can I trust him? I don't know. Do I have any other choice? It's a long story, Chris. Very long.
I'm all ears, old friend.
And while I tell him everything I can remember, the few things in my memory since waking up in Rod's trailer, I see a mixture of tenderness and compassion on his face. Something I haven't seen in anyone else since waking up in this hellhole. I haven't the slightest doubt. I can trust this man.
I'm sorry for everything that happened, Michael. Sarah and I had been trying to get in touch with you for a long time, but the Great Wave made it impossible to find you. Now I know why. As a matter of fact, she went out to take that note to your house. I haven't seen her since. Tell me, did you find Sarah? Did she tell you she was coming here?
Sarah? I'm sorry, but I just found this handwritten note on the door. That's all.
Of course, forgive me. You already told me that you were blanked. You don't remember her. Sarah is my wife. Emily and she were close friends. In fact, they ran the Beechwood Oracle bookstore together, right below your apartment. That's how you started working with us at the New Truth. And the two of you, Emily and you, became like family to us. I want you to know that what happened to Emily affected us deeply, Michael. Sarah was devastated. We could hardly bring ourselves to speak to you at the time. I'm so sorry for what happened to her.
What the hell are you talking about?
Good God. Don't tell me you don't remember that either. Emily died, Michael.
But that's impossible.
I'm sorry to be the one to make you relive that hell. You yourself told Sarah and me on the phone a little while before you returned home. It happened while the two of you were in Japan, scarcely a few days before the Great Wave hit. At the paper, we sent you on an assignment to do a photo essay on those strange lights that had been sighted in the sky over Tokyo. So you got all your photography equipment together and set off right away. Emily went with you. You two decided to use the trip as a chance to work on your marriage, which had been in trouble for a long time. You were in bad shape, Michael. Your financial problems, her miscarriages, your violent, self-destructive nature. Emily couldn't take it anymore. You were putting her through too much back then.
Things are not going well between us, Michael. You know that.
It's only a rough patch. You'll see. It's all your fault.
You have to get on top of this, Michael. It's destroying both of us. I'm afraid of you.
I can't help it. It's that demon. You know I can't help it.
From what you told us, things were getting better. After so many years, both of you were starting to rediscover each other.
Everything will be different. Remember that vacation we took to the beach when we were getting to know each other? Everything will go back to the way it was.
Promise me.
I promise.
Until one night in your hotel, Emily started to feel sick. It all happened very fast. She was having fainting spells, vomiting, running a fever. You took her to the nearest hospital where she was admitted immediately.
Emily, what's happening? Emily! Emily!
And a few hours later, they told you she was dead. They wouldn't even let you see her body. They wouldn't let you see her. The Japanese authorities hustled you off on the next plane out. It was all very strange and disconcerting. And the very night you arrived, the Great Wave hit.
Oh, Emily. Now I remember it. I remember everything.
I remember her pale, haggard face when she took my hand. Don't worry. It's nothing. Everything will be all right, she was saying, while they were wheeling her deep into the hospital. And she waved goodbye to me, forcing a smile to cover her fear.
And then I saw it. I swear I could see how time was stopping. Little by little. In her eyes.
Emily can't be dead. She talks to me. I've been hearing her voice for some time now. You must think I've lost my mind.
From the little we were able to talk to you before you got back, we could see that her death hit you terribly hard, Michael. You felt extremely guilty for the way you treated her those last few years. You said you would never be able to forgive yourself. It's possible that the pain warped your mind, but it's also possible that what is happening to you is real.
If Emily died before the Great Wave, how can what's happening to me be real?
Let me tell you something. In spite of the catastrophe, at the New Truth, we've never stopped working. For Sarah and for me, this newspaper is our life. And since the Great Wave, our contacts and confidential sources haven't stopped bringing us the most incredible and chilling information you could imagine. Thousands, no, millions of unexplained phenomena are taking place simultaneously all over the world, Michael. We're living through the strangest and most confusing times in our history, and any hypothesis, no matter how crazy, must be taken into consideration, even what you just told me. There's no question that something extraordinary is happening all over the world because of the Great Wave, the emergence of the dissolved, and our gradual approach to the dead synchronicity point.
Сколько много информации, капец. Что-то сегодня все запоздавшие, зато хоть приходят. Так квест же, можно пропустить часа 3, все равно ничего не изменится, Капа. Ну как не изменится? Вон сколько много информации выдали. Сразу. Я уже и забыла, что мы вообще делали. Да, Великая Волна. Люди говорят мне о ней с момента, как я проснулся.
Yes, the Great Wave. People have been telling me about it since the moment I woke up.
Everyone talks about it, but no one really knows what it is. Did you know that the catastrophe didn't just strike here, but all over the world? They keep us isolated and misinformed. But that's the truth. The Great Wave didn't just destroy this city. It affected the entire planet. And the most surprising thing is that it all happened simultaneously, at the exact same moment everywhere on Earth. Isn't that amazing? There's never been an official account of the catastrophe. They don't want to tell us. But at the New Truth, we know a lot of things they don't want us to know.
They? Who are they?
The elite, the army, the shadow government, whoever is in control at any particular moment. They're determined to maintain the power structures of the old world by any means. The irony is, for the moment, any notion of order or control is absurd. The rules of the game have changed completely, and the entire world is slipping through their fingers. They're disoriented and frightened, and they'll do anything to prop up the old system. That's what makes them so dangerous. But information weakens them, makes them vulnerable. And that's why we have to keep investigating, Michael. It's our duty to uncover the truth.
Слушайте, я не переставала, читать даже не начинал. Я слушаю и все понимаю, тут простой английский же. Ну, не, Никс-то не знает английский, он просто не слушает и не понимает сути сюжета так-то. Я все читаю, не знаю, как чатик, я читаю все. Тающий — это ужасная болезнь.
Dissolved. That horrible disease.
Yes, the fate of those poor devils. That's the cruelest and saddest part of this story. From reliable sources, we've been able to find out that while it is true the Great Wave multiplied the number of dissolved drastically, a few early cases of dissolution were actually detected hours, even days before the catastrophe.
What? There were cases of the dissolved before the Great Wave?
Yes, Michael. Just a handful of victims scattered across the globe. But the timing is significant. What's more, people have told us shocking stories about those victims.
I could tell you one. Colin, the only child of the family that took care of me in the refugee camp, is a dissolved. Just a few hours ago, in a deep trance, he shouted out my name, insisting that he needed to talk to me. He kept saying that he wanted to give me a message from Emily.
Good God, Michael. And what was that message?
I don't know. I haven't had a chance to talk to him, but I will. His condition is very serious. And I have to hurry.
If only we had more information about the disease, what it is, where it came from. If only we knew a little bit more about those strange underground highways they talk about so much during their trances. We need more information. At the New Truth, all we have are a few eyewitness reports here and there, and a handful of tests for detecting the disease that we were able to steal from one of the cleanup brigades. And that's not very much when you're trying to put together a puzzle as obscure and complicated as this one.
Вот он упомянул о том, что тающие говорят про подземное шоссе. Подземное шоссе так планируется назвать вторая часть. Ну, разработчики планируют ее так назвать. Ну, точнее, точнее, она так и должна называться, но вторая часть Dead Synchronicity, она так и не вышла за 7 лет. Хотя вроде как писали, что она разрабатывается, но очень медленно. Вот, и вторая часть, она должна называться как раз-таки «Подземное шоссе». Мертвая синхроничность. Что это?
Dead Synchronicity. What's that?
It's very difficult to explain, Michael. We're still so short of information. But I will tell you one thing. Time is running out. The Great Wave triggered a landslide of death and destruction that's accelerating by the day. And the end will be absolutely devastating.
Look around you, Chris. It's impossible for the situation to get worse.
If the theory about the approach of the Dead Synchronicity point is true, the future that awaits us will make everything we've seen up to now seem like a walk in the park, Michael. The arrival of the Dead Synchronicity point will mean the end of the world as we know it. The end of the laws of nature, the laws of physics, the very meaning of existence. And with them, of course, the end of the human species on the face of the earth. Our inability to adapt will wipe us out in a matter of minutes, and indeed, in some cases, it's already happening. But the good news is that if this hypothesis is correct, the very nature of this anomaly could also allow us to reverse the situation.
Reverse the situation? You mean avoid the future you're talking about? Avoid the consequences of the Great Wave? Is that possible?
Of course it is. How can I explain it to you? No, not yet. It would be too complex for you to understand, and I don't want to create any false hope. I can't tell you anything more for the time being. We need more information, more sources, and we need them urgently. Time is running out, in every sense of the word.
I need answers too, Chris. Where can I find the information you need? How can I help you?
A few days ago, one of our confidential sources in the Army contacted the New Truth. He told us he had a bombshell in his hands, an official report of the results of all the investigations conducted to date on the Great Wave, the Dissolved, and the Dead Synchronicity point. It's a real gold mine, Michael. The answer to our prayers.
And where is that report now?
The same day she left the note at your house, Sarah was supposed to meet our source at the same place we always meet people who cooperate with the New Truth, which had been the safest place in the city up to that point. The sewers. But she never came back, Michael. I was hoping she'd found you. Or perhaps some problem had come up in the sewers, and she'd taken refuge in your apartment.
Don't worry, Chris. Sarah will be fine.
Yes, I know. Sarah is a strong woman and very resourceful. I know she can take care of herself. If you want to help us, Michael, get us that report. I'm trapped in this basement in this wheelchair, but I know that you'll be able to get it for me. It's vitally important that we get it. That's where we'll find the answers to all our questions. Even answers about Emily and her messages. Follow the trail of Sarah and our source. Go down into the sewers and find some clue that can lead us to them. But be very careful down there. It's dangerous.
Dangerous? You just told me the sewers were the safest place in the city.
Indeed, they were. That's why they became the perfect hiding place for the Dissolved and their families. For some time now, the Army has been reinforcing its dragnets for catching the Dissolved hiding in the sewers. If they find you in one of those tunnels, they'll shoot first and ask questions later.
I'll be fine.
Take this. You'll need something to guide you.
Yeah,
the city
карта.
sewer system is a veritable labyrinth. I've marked the exact spot where the meeting was supposed to take place. It's a huge subterranean gallery where several pipes converge. Michael, please, bring me that report. And for the love of God, bring Sarah back to me safe and sound.
I'll do it.
Ура, меня выпустили и карту дали. Так,
A
сундук.
huge old trunk. Looks like it weighs a ton. The layer of dust on top suggests that it hasn't been opened in a long time.
Давай откроем.
Locked with a key. I'm afraid that Chris doesn't trust anyone. And the way things turned out after the Great Wave, he's doing the right thing.
Может, у него есть ключ?
It's Chris. Nowadays, the only person I think I can trust. He's waiting for me to find and bring him back that report that promises to reveal a lot of secrets about this new world. And to do that, I first have to find Sarah and her source. Chris, I need you to refresh my memory of a few concepts.
Расскажи еще раз.
I won't bother.
Ну, по сути, по сундуку он ничего не спрашивает. Давайте осматривать тогда. Книжные
The
полки.
entire basement is filled with books, albums, file cabinets, and photos. You can even find the odd exotic object in all this. Sarah and Chris accumulated enough material to fill a museum of curiosities. The walls and arches in this basement look as thick as in a cathedral crypt. I suppose that this, plus the fact that we're underground, explains how the new Truth Office is still in such good condition after the Great Wave.
Записки и газетные вырезки.
Dozens of documents and newspaper clippings about conspiracies, attacks, inexplicable occurrences. Looking at the topics of all this material, I can imagine what the editorial line of the New Truth is.
Старое кресло.
A beat-up armchair covered with patches. It's funny. It's pretty tatty, but it looks extremely comfortable.
Стол Криса.
Covered with scrawled notes, open books, and dirty coffee mugs. I get the impression that Chris lives, works, eats, and sleeps at this enormous desk.
Фотография Сары.
While I can't remember her clearly, looking at this photograph gives me a pleasant sense of tranquility. I'm sure Sarah and I were very good friends before the world collapsed. Oh, Lord. I'm completely exhausted. I feel like I've been wandering around this new world for centuries, but I can't stop to rest now. Not until Chris and I have uncovered the secrets in that army report.
Так, а еще я поняла, что у него нету пленки. Может, у него
I
все-таки
prefer to hold
есть
on to it.
пленка?
I think this will be...
Нет. Ладно, тогда
It's a map with handwritten
карта.
notes describing how to get to Sarah's meeting place with her source. Without this, walking through those tunnels would be a rather dangerous waste of time.
Пойдемте, это единственное пока, что я могу сделать. А, кстати, мы вышли вот отсюда. А я хотела всегда туда попасть. Здесь еще какая-то дверка непонятная. Отойди, Никс.
Wait a minute. I'm not going to climb down any further, and it would be crazy to go into...
А, надо обязательно фонариком.
Here goes. I'll use the map Chris gave me as a guide. These tunnels are a real labyrinth. This is the place marked on the map, the place where Sarah and her confidential source were found.
Это место отмечено на карте. Опа. Метро. Кровь. Там что-то еще работает? Я думала, тут уже все, ничего не работает. Гильза.
They gleam like gold nuggets, illuminated by the light that enters through the ceiling. These empty shell casings are evidence that a shooting occurred in these sewers. They wouldn't be of any use to me. These bullets have already been fired.
Они нам не нужны, окей. Проходы и туннели.
Dozens of dark tunnels converge in this area. Most of them closed or inaccessible from here. This place must be the true subterranean heart of the city.
Световой люк.
That skylight leading to the outside is the only lighting in this place. The combination of the architecture, light and water, give this place an unearthly appearance. It looks like a cathedral built inside the sewers.
Водопад.
This is where that river of filthy water ends. It's funny. Despite the nauseating stench it gives off, there's something hypnotic about that viscous green waterfall.
Предмет в воде.
It's a shoe, trying to stay afloat in the stinking sludge of the sewer. From here, it looks like a castaway waiting for help. It's of no use. I'm afraid that there's not much I can do for it now.
Отстойник.
The underground rivers that carried the sewage and garbage from Doomsday City lead here. If I ever thought I couldn't fall any lower, this place helps me remember how mistaken I was.
Вентиляционная решетка.
There's a very familiar sound coming from the depths of the tunnel behind this grate. It's a subway train. I don't get it. If they boarded up the subway stops and shut down the subway service, what the devil are those trains carrying? And where are they going?
Получено достижение сталкер. Пятно крови.
Damn it. More of that macabre graffiti. This pestilent city is oozing blood from every pore. The trail disappears, drip by drip, into that tunnel.
Нам бы, наверное, надо было сохраниться, ну ладно. Я уже куда-то пошла. Так вот, куда мы вышли. Давайте сохранимся. Прочные прутья, гора
It's
отбросов.
an enormous accumulation of trash, mud, and plant matter that has built up in the years since this pipe was last cleaned. Ugh, there's a stench coming from inside it, even worse than the rest of the sewer.
Куча полуразложившихся
I've
отходов.
been able to remove some of the waste, but I won't be able to remove the rest of it with my hands. This stuff is too snarled up.
Не сможет голыми руками. Так.
I'm afraid I can't do that.
Ломиком.
All right. Let's see what the devil is so tangled up in here.
My God, Sarah!
А,
A bullet's torn off her jaw, but her face is still recognizable. Poor Chris. How am I going to break this to him?
труп Сары.
One bullet hit her in the jaw, and another went through part of her neck. There's no doubt that Sarah bled to death while using the last of her strength, trying to drag herself out of here. A flash drive. It's sticking out of the corpse's clenched fist. Sarah is holding on to it for dear life, even in death.
Флешка.
A flash drive. It's sticking out of the corpse's clenched fist.
Это уже было. Теперь у нас есть флешка. Ну, пойдемте обратно. Давайте сохранимся лучше. Выпустили. Нормально. Одичавший поезд, который ходит сам. Ага.
Hello, Chris.
Michael, you're back already? Tell me, did you find Sarah? Did you bring the report she went out to get?
I brought the report. Here it is.
Oh, that's great news. I knew you could do it. Ah, damn it. I should have guessed. I was expecting a paper dossier, not an electronic document. We have a serious problem, Michael.
Problem? What's wrong?
We're not in the old world anymore, and access to electricity is a privilege very few people have nowadays. Now, the good news is that I was able to save my old laptop from the Great Wave.
То, что у него пятна на рубашке плавают, это да, я давно уже заметила.
What can we do?
If we want to find out the secrets in this report, we need electricity. Bring me a generator with enough fuel, and we'll find all the answers we need, Michael. But tell me, please, did you find Sarah? Why didn't she come back with you? What happened?
Не волнуйся, я нашел много признаков того, что Сара жива и здорова. Да, гильзы, пулька, труп ее. Да, наверное, есть смысл сказать.
I'm sorry, Chris. Sarah's dead.
Good God. But what?
It looks like she and your confidential source were ambushed and shot by soldiers in the sewers. I found Sarah's body in one of the grated tunnels. near the refugee camp. I took the report out of her hands, but I had to leave her there.
Oh, my poor Sarah. She didn't deserve that. Please, Michael, don't leave her body to rot in the sewers. I beg of you. Do it for me. For Sarah. For Emily.
I'll do what I can, Chris. I promise you.
Now, get me that electric generator. Time is running out.
Не, электрогенератор я знаю где. Чтобы узнать секреты из отчета, Крису нужен электрогенератор. Но вот только боюсь, что мне его так просто не отдадут.
Before leaving his house, I shoot a furtive glance at Chris. He's gazing at Sarah's photo in silence, completely lost in thought. Maybe I should have lied about what happened to her. Told him that she got away, leaving the report behind. That she's safe and sound, and just waiting for the right moment to come back. The truth is a poisonous inheritance from the old world. What good does it do to know it, if it snatches away your last hope?
А смысл в вот этой вот лжи? То есть, ну, блин, мы просто бы отстрочили эту правду. Только и все.
This corpse deserves a decent burial, not to be put in a dirty, used plastic bag.
Получено достижение. Очень длинное. Я не понимаю, как мне ее тогда забрать.
After being exposed to water and dampness for so long, Sarah's remains look positively Dante-esque.
Наверное, пока никак. Интересно, что захотят эти ребята за генератор.
Hey, you guys!
You talking to us?
I don't have any...
Okay. You paid for her.
No. Rose is waiting for someone to free her from her captors. Talking to her again would only feed the delusions of her warped mind even more.
Хорошо, с ней-то не
This is the
разговаривать.
only generator I've seen in the entire refugee camp. It's worth a fortune. That's why those goons won't let it out of their sight.
Вот только вопрос, что делать с генератором. Как мне его забрать?
What exactly do you think you're doing?
Hey, pal, touch that generator and you're a dead man. My partner and I don't kid around when it comes to defending what's ours. That clear?
Extremely. I was just curious and wanted to see this relic up close. You don't have to get nervous.
Возможно, я его смогу забрать, когда она убежит. Плюс мне надо сфоткать топливо, чтобы мне помогли с Крисом поговорить. Что еще? А по сути и все. Нам больше некуда идти. На генератор, окей, топливо я тоже знаю где. Только вот вопрос, как мне топливо забрать. Я же вряд ли его смогу вот прям отсюда. А, у меня же здесь темная комната была, точно.
Let's see what this
Ну-ка.
room actually is, with a little light.
Панель
One of those
управления.
electrical panels that control the different lighting phases in a building. The majority of the circuit breakers are broken or ripped out. All but one. All right. I'll flip the switch for the only circuit that's not blown. I think I hear the buzz of electricity coming from the surface.
С поверхности. Что я сделала? Освещенный склад топлива. Так, хорошо, я его подсветила. Осталось его сфоткать.
The image of that guy again. It's like
Но это было.
over. I did.
Скорее всего, это нужно было для фотки. Да, потому что он, наверное, сказал бы, что типа слишком темно, нифига не видно, надо подсветить.
A few powerful spotlights light the contents of the depot. This place is glowing like a gold mine right now.
Но сфоткать я
I have
не
an excellent view
сфоткаю.
of the hospital compound and the fuel depot from here. Shame the camera doesn't have any film in it.
В фотоаппарате нет пленки. Пятна крови можно потрогать.
These stains mark the spot where that bloated psychopath knocked me down with his flashlight. Now I can say I've made my mark in this new world. Wait a minute. In all that blood, there's something white. It's a fragment of one of my teeth.
Обломок зуба. Осколок
A
зуба.
reminder of my clash with the soldiers, in case my memory fails me again.
Зачем? Мы же где-то комп находили, но он у меня флешку забрал, и там комп явно не в рабочем состоянии был. Это 100%. Зуб. Зуб. Для чего мне нужен зуб? Может,
I
открутить?
don't see how I can use the tooth fragment with this.
Нет. Мне же здесь надо еще вот это вот как-то оторвать или что-то типа такого.
What for? None of these titles means anything at all to me. It's like looking into a mirror.
Надо найти какую-то либо отвертку, либо что-то типа такого. Тут у нас ничего нет. Блин. Забирают меня. Верните.
Good God.
Для
These two
зубной
kids are
фен.
about to lose their lives because of me.
Зубная
I think
фея.
it's about time I left them. Better not. This woman strikes me as besides. After our last
Нечего сказать, окей. Может попробовать с ним поменяться, не
I
знаю.
prefer to keep. It doesn't seem like. I'd rather. The new world is violent enough without going around hitting. I'm not going to give it to anyone.
Мне еще пригодится.
I'm not going to give this camera to anyone. I prefer to hold on to it. No, I prefer to hold on to it.
Did you get me that photo of the hospital's fuel depot yet, Mike?
No, not yet.
What are you waiting for, dude? You know the deal. Bring me that photo and I'll give you whatever you want.
Ну, то есть можно поменять еще свой вариант? Нет, ну нам нужен
Like I
только
said,
один.
I need you to I need to be alone with.
And that will be
Да,
red,
да,
but
все
bring me
будет
the...
сделано. Сначала принеси мне фотографии. Где тогда можно найти фотку? Фотку. Ну, точнее, пленку. Мне не фотка нужна, мне пленка нужна. Пленка.
This home already has an owner.
О, беспорядок. Ну-ка.
An enormous amount of paper and old junk piled up in a perfect state of disorder. The chaos in this trunk is unbelievable. What do we have here?
Пленка.
As one would expect, there are only old magazines, stacks of paper, and outdated printing supplies here. No, wait a minute. It looks like there's also
Пленка.
fingerprints and cameras here.
Е. Я нашла.
Perfect. Now I can load the camera. The tab that closes the film compartment is broken. I can't use it like this. I need something to hold it in place, or else the film will keep falling out.
Ну что такое? Аппарат со сломанным отделением для пленки.
It has film in it, but the tab that closes the film compartment is broken. I can't use it in this condition. The film would fall out. Damn it! Why does everything have to be so
Почему
complicated?
все так сложно? Может ее
Tie
замотать?
the wire to the camera? I'm afraid I'm going to have to be a bit more subtle if I want to repair this broken tab.
Нет.
I can't
Зубом?
believe it. The tooth fragment fits perfectly into the slot for the broken tab. Now I can close the film compartment.
Я не знаю, как он там... Что он там сделал зубом, но зуб соединился с фотоаппаратом. Ладно, пойдемте фоткать. Кто выключил?
Great. The circuit breaker I activated is tripped, and it's the only one that seems to work. It'll probably only hold for a little while. It's a control panel for the... I've already activated...
А, в том плане, что он недолго работает. Все, я поняла. Надо действовать быстро.
Let's take a look. Perfect.
Надеюсь, он не скажет, что... Типа, не знаю, это какая-то подставная фотка, ты просто ее нашел, я тебе не верю. Надеюсь, он поверит. Кстати, фотик оставили. Ой, не туда пришла. На.
I've brought what we agreed. Here's the photograph of the fuel depot.
Fantastic, Mike. Let's see what you've got there. This is incredible. Those pigs have been storing thousands of gallons of fuel, and all within our reach. With your ID, all we have to do is go into the compound, say, "Hello, boys," and bring it all back here. You've just made me very, very happy, dude. I knew I wasn't wrong about you.
Now you have to hold up your end of the bargain.
Yes, of course I will, Mike. You know I'm a man of my word. Besides, these are hard times, and we have to help one another, dude. I'll get Rod and his wife out of their trailer, so you can have a little time alone with the boy. You have my word, and my complete discretion.
But remember that you promised that we'd do it my way, quietly and with no violence. I don't want anybody getting hurt. I just need your men to distract his parents on some pretext for long enough for me to slip in there, okay?
Of course, Mike. You have my word that we'll only do what's necessary. Only what's strictly necessary. Give me a few minutes and then go to the trailer. Everything will be fine when you get there.
Okay, but before I go, can I ask you for something else?
Today you've been the bearer of the best possible news, dude. So shoot. I'll see what I can do.
Мне срочно нужен электрогенератор. Блин, и то хотелось бы сделать. Ну и электрогенератор мне нужен. Но он мне по сюжету нужен. М. Ну, я думаю, что в любом случае, раз электрогенератор сюжетный, ну, даже если без его помощи, нам придется как-то разбираться самим. Хм. Ну, давайте про подругу все-таки.
Some soldiers murdered a friend of mine in the sewers. I need you to take care of her body.
Well, well, well. Murdered in the sewers. And what the hell was your friend doing there? Wait, don't answer. I've heard about that custom among some relatives of the sick. It means she was hiding a dissolved in the sewers. Or am I mistaken?
Yes, you're absolutely, totally, and completely wrong. I'm not going to tell you what she was doing there. About her commitment to learning the truth, to changing things in the shithole left behind by the Great Wave, where you move around like a fish in water. You'd be incapable of understanding it. You couldn't even imagine making a sacrifice like that. Even I have a hard time imagining it. It's none of your business.
Listen, Mike, you know what I think of those disease carriers and of the people who hide them. For everyone's sake, they all belong in the hands of the cleanup brigades. But you know what? Your intentions are good, giving a friend a decent burial. You're loyal to your friends, and I like that. Above all, you've got to be faithful. Loyalty is everything in this new world. So consider it done. I'll take care of it, dude.
Her body is in the sewer tunnel that comes out by the entrance to the camp.
Your friend will have a decent resting place. I give you my word.
А, можно и то попросить. Мне нужен
I
электрогенератор.
need an electric generator urgently.
Hey, dude, calm down. I think you misinterpreted my offer. Since the Great Wave, a generator has become worth more than the lives of 100 people in this camp. Don't think I couldn't get you one. But the price will be so high that I can't imagine how you'll be able to pay me. I'm sorry, Mike.
But I just gave you access to thousands of gallons of fuel.
But those barrels aren't walking out of that place on their own. My men and I are going to have to risk our hides by going into the lion's den. I'm sorry, but the matter is closed. You should be going now. I've got to get the trailer sorted out. Give me a few minutes and then you can go there, okay? Adios, dude.
Ну, насчет электрогенератора, в принципе, я и думала, что вряд ли он нам его отдаст. Он единственный здесь. Так что будем разбираться сами.
Wait a minute. What's that noise?
Что
Why is
такое?
everyone fleeing? What's going on? The cleanup brigades are coming.
О,
And they're heading for
нет.
Rod's trailer. God damn it! The hunters turned them in. That animal turns Colin and his family in.
No, he's not sick. It's a mistake. Don't take him away. It's all a misunderstanding.
It's just a question of minutes before those bastards break into the trailer and take the boy.
Капец. А, медсестры.
Brigade workers are ready to take Colin away. Rod is blocking their way. But I don't think that poor man will be able to hold them back for very long.
Так, давайте сохранимся. Круто он нам, конечно, помог.
Get out! You're not coming in here!
Санитарная
One of
машина.
those vehicles of terror the members of the cleanup brigade use to get around. The ambulance's siren is making an infernal noise. Good God, it's
You're
deafening.
making a mistake! My child is not sick! No!
Так,
Colin called out to me by name. He said he had a message from her, a message from Emily. I have to go in there and talk to the boy before it's too late. But how? Now I understand why this window hasn't been cleaned. It gives Rod and his family some privacy without raising suspicions about the boy's illness. Besides, that glass looks pretty thick. The boy's cries can't be heard from outside.
стекло довольно толстое.
It doesn't look like it's having any... Okay, I've got to act fast. The noise the ambulance makes will cover the sound of the glass breaking.
Что-то мне не кажется, что заглушит, но ладно.
This cookie box should have, according to the notebook, it's the one-way ticket in case things don't...
Так. Давайте здесь сохранимся.
It's the door leading to the room in the trailer where I woke up a few hours ago. Feels to me more like weeks, or even months. Forget it. I'm not leaving here without talking to Colin first. Besides, Rod might find out. And he made it very clear that he didn't want to see me anywhere near his family, although I doubt I'm the poor man's biggest problem right now.
Коробка. Револьвер.
Michael? Michael, is that you?
Yes, Colin. It's me. But how do you know my name?
Emily told me a lot about you. That's how I know you. She gave me a message. She said it was very important that I give it to you. What's all that noise outside, Michael? Where are my parents?
It's nothing, Colin. Your parents will be back very soon. Don't worry. But it's impossible for you to have spoken to Emily. She's no longer with us.
Yes, she is. Emily is always with me. When I go down the underground highways, she's there, waiting for me. Emily gave me a message, Michael. She told me it was something very, very important.
Какое? Ты сказал, что Эмили заботится о тебе, но как это возможно? Что за важное послание ты хотел мне передать? Ну, давайте по порядку. Колин, скажи, что происходит на подземных шоссе.
Tell me what happens on those underground highways, Colin.
The highways are very dark, and I don't want to go down there. They're too scary. There's no light, and they're full of ghosts. There are only shadows and voices down there. Everyone seems very sad and angry, and they tell me things I don't want to know, things I don't even understand. At first, I hid the whole time so they wouldn't find me, or I wandered around by myself for hours in the dark until I met Emily. Now I'm not so afraid of the underground highways, Michael, because she's always there.
You say that Emily takes care of you? But how is that possible?
She protects me. She keeps me from feeling scared, because I used to be really scared. I didn't know what was happening to me. I didn't understand anything. But now with Emily by my side, everything is much better. She tells me that what's happening to me is normal, that I'm just sick, but that the sickness will go away soon. And that the pain will go away for good then, that she also got really scared when she got sick.
Emily told you that she also got sick?
Yes, she told me that she went through this before me, that a while back she got the same sickness I have. She told me that she felt very lonely too, and that the pain was unbearable, but that it finally ended. And that's why I shouldn't worry, that the pain and the fear will go away. She's very kind to me, Michael. She's very kind to everybody, isn't she?
Yes, Colin. Yes, she is. Emily contracted the same disease. No, it can't be. Emily, a dissolved? Is that why they didn't let me see your body? Is that the reason for all the secrecy surrounding your death?
Ну, нам же говорили, что они как бы превращаются в жижку. То есть, ну, поэтому тело не показали, потому что она растаяла. А что показывать? Воду? Как ему объяснить, что она в воду превратилась? Ну, в лужу. Не в воду уж. Просто в жидкость, я имею в виду. А что за важное послание ты хотел мне передать?
And what is this message you have to give me that's so important?
She told me that she couldn't come back to be with us, that she will be trapped forever on the underground highways, and that the same thing will happen to me very soon. That's why she asked me to tell you that we're connected, Michael. She told me that you'd understand. We're connected, and it's very important for you to remember that.
Connected? What does that mean, Colin?
Emily told me there was a thread that no one can see that joins us to you, and that's why there's still a chance we can be saved, but that only you could do it while there's still time. She told me that if we're connected, there's still some hope for us all. Can you make everything go back to the way it was, Michael? I don't want to be stuck on the underground highways forever. Can you really make everything go back the way it was, Michael?
We're connected? What does that mean? I don't understand anything. This is all crazy.
Michael, help me. It hurts so much. Make it stop.
Colin, what's happening?
Make it stop. Please.
Colin! My God. I have to get out of here. I
our way and let us do our job.
No, don't go in there. I beg of you.
My son! My son!
Colin, no. No!
Damn it. I can't breathe. If it's true that there's a way to change all this, I have to find it now. I don't think I can stand it any longer. I don't think anyone can.
Ну, по сути, как-то так. Что, можно еще раз в окошко заглянуть? Останки Колина.
Poor Colin. His fate was sealed long before I woke up. Where could Rod and his wife be? Truth is, I'd rather not know the answer.
Ну, вообще...
Forget it. I'm not going back into that room.
По идее, их должны были убить за то, что они укрывали тающего. Ну, тут же так решаются дела. Так. Пойдемте разберемся с охотником. Что за дела?
Hey, dude, back already? Nice to see you again around here. Your timing is perfect. So tell me, how did things go with the kid?
Ruthless bastard. You called the cleanup brigades.
Hey, calm down, Mike. Tone it down, okay? Of course I called the cleanup brigades. What did you expect? I was curious about your interest in the boy, so I did a little investigating on my own. My informants poked around Rod's trailer a little, and they discovered some things. Enough to find out how great a risk that kid and his disease represented to camp's safety. These are hard times, and we have to take care of each other, dude. It's our common responsibility. Besides, you already know what I think of those disease carriers, and the fools who protect them, Mike.
We agreed that we'd do things my way. We agreed that no one would get hurt.
No, dude. You're confused. I promised you I would do only what was strictly necessary to let you talk to the kid alone. And that's what I did. I made sure the soldiers gave you as much time as you needed to do whatever it was you had to do with that boy. Frankly, Mike, I don't understand why you're complaining.
You gotta do what you gotta do. Is that it?
Of course, Mike. You gotta do what you gotta do. And that's something you already know better than anyone. But now, sit down and have a drink with me. We got things to celebrate. Thanks to the photo you brought us, the plan to get our hands on that fuel at the medical center has been finalized. That depot holds more gasoline than we could ever have imagined in our wildest dreams. We're going over there in a few hours. Hey, Michael, today is turning out to be a great day, don't you think? One of the best I can remember.
No, I'm not gonna drink a toast with you because I don't have anything to celebrate. You're a despicable animal.
Hey, watch what you're saying, dude.
A pathetic, ignorant bastard. Garbage from the old world you were so happy to see swept away.
Watch out, Mike. I warned you not to disrespect me in my bar, in front of my men. Don't keep tempting fate.
Are you really offended? You're a vile insect with no morals. So
Сейчас
God
ты
and the devil were
получишь
good
опять
to you,
за
you
свой
say.
длинный язык.
Open
Ну
your
что
eyes and look
такое?
around, you paranoid worm, because you're nothing but a violent, drunken, demented psychopath, just like your father.
Turn off that music.
Turn off that music right now!
Listen, Michael. There's already been too much commotion in the refugee camp, and more trouble is not in my interest. That's the only thing stopping me from tearing you limb from limb right here and now, and stashing your remains in one of those drums out there. But another word, and you're a dead man. Got it? One more word out of you, and I swear that tomorrow morning they'll find your stinking corpse so tangled up in the barbed wire that they'll have to chop you up to get you out of there. And I don't care where you hide or how far you run, because you know I'll find you in the end. Now get out of my sight. Get out of my sight!
Ну вот и поговорили.
This clandestine bar is now the lion's den. After our last conversation, if the hunter finds me inside, he won't hesitate to eliminate me on the spot.
Ну, все. В общем, больше он мне никак не будет помогать.
This revolver still has 2 bullets in the chamber. The ones Rod and his wife were saving for when Colin passed away. It's possible that by taking it, I've saved their lives, or, on the other hand, condemned them to go on living.
Чё, пойти этих двоих застрелить, что ли? И забрать генератор?
No question. That pair of ruthless animals have it coming. But the hunter made it clear. If you touch a hair on their heads, you're a dead man.
Так я же и так покойник, какая разница? А, можно же, по-моему, в цистерну выстрелить, да?
I only waste a bullet. Besides, I don't have great faith in my aim.
Походу, надо что-то сделать с цистерной.
It's completely coated with rust and mildew. This structure seems more like a gigantic penicillin culture than a water tank.
Цистерна.
I don't quite see how I could use. No. I don't see where I could put this in.
У меня, по сути, осталось только 2 задания, да, тут некоторые сообщения, они просто уходят, то есть вот это сюжетное. Мне, получается, надо Роуз спасти и забрать электрогенератор. Но мне кажется, эти 2 задания взаимосвязаны друг с другом, потому что надо что-то делать с вот этими ребятами. Они вряд ли мне отдадут Роуз и вряд ли отдадут генератор, то есть все делается здесь, наверное.
Use this here?
Вот только интересно, как мне их отсюда...
Hey, you guys!
You talking to?
I don't have any...
Okay. You paid for her.
Да, блин.
Oh no. It's starting again. It's amazing.
Крови еще больше, не? Чую, к концу игры наша рубашка станет красной. Ну, наверное.
Everything's mutating. Repeating itself in cycles all around me. I don't understand. I don't understand anything.
Смотрите-ка. Разве он это... Мы же насчет девчонки договорились. И походу он сделал то, что я попросила.
Sarah's corpse is gone. At least that devious cockroach took her body away, like we agreed.
Да. Вот только вопрос, где он ее похоронил. Ну, бочки еще на месте. Не знаю, есть смысл с ней разговаривать.
Uma.
Talk to my... That will very...
Вроде нет. Ничего нового нет. Ну и по сути я не понимаю, где тут можно было бы хранить человека.
Hello, Chris.
Michael, did you bring the generator?
No, I still haven't found it. But I'm working on it.
If we want to find out the secrets in this report, we need electricity. Bring me the generator with sufficient fuel, and I'll give you the answers you need, Michael.
I'll do it.
But hurry. Time is running out.
Ну да, кстати, мне нужно не только электрогенератор, но мне еще и топливо нужно. На что можно потратить пистолет?
I'm not gonna shoot at that. Besides...
Надо что-то еще с задником сделать. Там тоже, судя по всему, что-то есть. Парк. А вот сейчас непонятно, что делать.
This thing is priceless. I don't think these goons would find it amusing if I smashed it to pieces. Better not. There are twice as many of them. If I wanted to attack them, I'd be starting off at a clear disadvantage. No. An enormous rusty tank designed to collect rainwater. Everything indicates that the Great Wave wiped out the concept of running water in one fell swoop, at least on this side of the fence.
Я бы сказала, что нужно делать, но, пожалуй, смолчу. Ну, сейчас поищем, посмотрим. Я же тот момент, который не поняла, я посмотрела, что делать. Но у нас, по сути, два задания, которые здесь. Два задания. Причем с ней я не могу разговаривать. Сюда я все забрала.
It would break Rose's heart to see me stealing her baby's clothes. I'm not gonna do that to her. Rose already has enough lights hanging from the ceiling of her room. There's makeup scattered at the foot of this mirror. I suppose... Barf. I can see bed... That explains the bites on Rose's face and arms. These enormous walls of scrap metal surround the dirty lot where a forest of metal that leads to the heart. I wish this were nothing more than a story dreamed up by these enormous walls of...
То же самое. Может, попробовать с ребятами поговорить? Может, они как-то отвлекут их?
These two kids are about to lose their lives because of me. I think it's about time I left them alone. For their own...
Нет.
I'm not gonna pick them up. Besides...
Не возьму. Так.
Better not. I have no interest in...
Ты не можешь говорить с Роуз, но можешь ей кое-что дать? Зачем мне что-то давать? Револьвер, чтоб она убила?
Hello, Mr. Sleepyhead. Have you come to help us?
I don't know whether who I was before the Great Wave entitles me to make any kind of moral judgments. But what I do know is that the hunter and his men are a real cancer in this new world, which is the only thing that really counts right now. The girl has a right to defend herself, that bastard said. So someone should give her the chance to do that. It's only fair, right? I can't get you out of here, Rose. I'm sorry. You're the only one that can do it.
Thank you.
As she was picking up the revolver, she gave me a look of determination that I didn't know she had in her. Rose acted so quickly that I barely saw what happened through the crack in the door of her van. Her hand was steady, even when the second man begged for his life, sobbing and groveling on the floor. The bullet went right through his heart. Blood splattered all over her white dress. And then she let the revolver drop and sat down, lost in her own world. And she didn't do or say anything else, holed up in her tiny, delirious inner landscape. There she had everything she could ever need, safe at last from the new world, which she will probably never return to.
Там минус генератор.
There's no point in bothering her. Fortunately for her, Rose isn't here anymore. It's Rose, sitting perfectly still and staring off into space. I'm afraid she's gone, and she's not coming back.
Ну, по сути, не я их убила, а она.
I'm afraid those bastards just played their last hand. I can't help but think those guys got what was coming to them, even if that's a thought worthy of the hunter.
А монетки я заберу. Спасибо.
Seeing the current condition of the players, I doubt anyone will ever play cards on that table again.
Поврежденный
Damn it.
генератор.
That's what happens when you bring electrical devices in contact with water. The contents of the water tank made it completely useless. No, the water turned the generator into an enormous hunk of scrap metal. Why would I want to take it with me in this condition?
Единственный генератор.
What the hell? Another one of those repeating images. Of those damn time loops.
No. Rose. No, don't do it. No!
It's Rose, killing her captors again. But there's something in this one that makes it different. It feels more real and more intense than the other times.
Я могу его
The tank
переставить.
doesn't have any leaks, so no water dripped onto it. It's incredible. But the generator is working again.
Я не
Damn
успела.
it. It's taking too long to disconnect the cables that connect the generator to the trailer. I won't be able to grab it before the water ruins it. No, the water... Why would I want to take...
Мне надо было всего лишь его переставить. Зачем он трогает провода? Я не понимаю. Тут же вот ручка есть, чтобы его сдвинуть.
No. Rose. No, don't do it. No!
Damn it. It's... I won't be able...
Он там копается-то столько. Я не понимаю, зачем он отключает провода, когда надо генератор передвинуть. Давай его просто в пакет тогда запихнем.
No. Wow. No. Wow.
Ой.
Wow.
Это... Верните меня туда.
No. Rose. No, don't do it. No!
Damn it. It's taking too long to disconnect the cables that connect the generator to the trailer. I won't be able to grab it before the water... Damn it.
Какой-то глупый момент. То есть там пакет, он человека взрослого ростом. Там такой пакет огромный, что там можно весь генератор им закрыть. Он его кладет на маленькую половинку. Вообще, даже на ту, на которую не попадает вода. Почему это так тупо сделано?
No. Rose. No, don't do it. No!
I don't think I'd gain. Hanging up this poster. No matter how hard I try to plug these in. This thing is priceless. I don't think these goons would find it amusing if... Damn it. I wasn't able to save it. I can only cover half the generator with this.
Получилось укрыть только половину генератора. Так а нафига ты укрываешь половину генератора, на которую вода даже не попадает? Логично положить мешок в середину, чтобы вода вот эта вот по мешку стекала вниз. Ну, типа, даже если направо-налево, она будет просто по мешку стекать.
No, don't do it. No!
Короче, нам нужен еще один мешок, я поняла. Выпустите меня отсюда. Но это очень тупо. То есть, блин. Там такое чувство, как будто вот вся цистерна разливается, и нам нужно полностью его укрыть. Там, блин, капает вон водичка. Немножко. Так, значит, нужен пакет. Еще один пакет. Тут вон достаточно было просто залезть, взять коробку из-под печенья и туда поставить. Ну, что-то как-то все очень по-дурацки сделано, на мой взгляд. Ну, по крайней мере, этот момент очень сделан по-дурацки и как будто, не знаю, притянут за уши, блин. С помощью одного пакета я не могу и генератор спасти. Когда пакет такого размера, что там можно в него генератор полностью запихнуть. Пакет, пакет. Сейчас бы еще вспомнить, где у нас есть пакет. И вообще, есть ли у нас пакет. Пакетов у нас куча здесь. Вот только вопрос, как забрать хотя бы один из них. Набор тестов.
I'm not going to take any. An unmistakable...
Монетки. Зачем монетки?
It's sagging from the weight, and so dilapidated that I doubt this janitor's cart has many more trips left in it.
А если я попробую спуститься вниз,
I'm afraid I
допустим?
can't do that. The lights are broken and burnt out.
Ну, хотя вряд ли я прям незаметно спущусь вниз, чтобы забрать пакет. Где мы еще можем взять пакет? Какая-то ткань не подойдет, то есть надо что-то непромокаемое. Брезент. Может, от него оторвать кусок?
The
Было бы
cats
еще
have already done
чем.
their business back there. I'm not going to bother them.
Интересно, брезент считается какой-то тканью или это водонепромокаемое? Ну, что-то такое. По идее, она же должна защищать от дождя. То есть, по идее, я могу просто его отрезать кусок и положить.
It doesn't look like it's...
Надо только понять, чем отрезать. Книги, книги, книги. Ведро он выбросил. Да, кстати, ведро, которое было у нас хорошее ведро, он выбросил. Не знаю, бутылку поставить.
As dry and as empty as the con. I see various liquor bottles scattered. That explains the odor. What for? It's like...
Это не то.
No. I'd only rip it if I tried to pull...
Возможно, мне задник надо оторвать, но вроде как это просто типа ткань. Хотя я не знаю, она водонепроницаемая. Считается водонепроницаемой. Кресло.
Oh, Lord. I feel but I can't...
Зачем я могу с ним взаимодействовать, интересно? Монетки.
I don't think doing this... This plastic bag is designed to hold the remains of... Better not. This clandestine... If the...
Ну так-то и вот здесь ткань лежит, и вот здесь есть ткань.
I have no intention of climbing back up there. I'll
Нам нужна определенная ткань. И вот ткань, по сути, вот. Это же тоже она от дождя защищает, то есть она водонепроницаемая должна быть. Ну это уж понятно, какая-то... Какие-то там одеялки, полотенца, может, неизвестно что.
Rod didn't want anyone to take his son's things when it was... Now this heap of plastic, clothes, and burnt... Nothing but leaky roofs and cardboard walls that would blow away in the wind if they weren't tied down. Good God. The very look of this place is disheartening.
Может, монетки попробовать вместо отвертки? Давайте попробуем монетки вместо отвертки. Ну да, он них же их же использует вместо отвертки. А почему опять? Мы где-то уже использовали, разве? Не помню. Я просто не очень уверена, что задник для съемок может быть водонепроницаемый. Могут же и просто, типа, как тканюшку вешать. Обычную.
Let's see. The coins fit perfectly in the heads of the screws. It'll be no trouble loosening them and taking the fabric with me.
Ну-ка. Ну, хотя больше похож на шторку, на какую-то.
It's the backdrop I use for the photography jobs I did at home.
Во, водонепроницаемый. Все, я поняла. Он подойдет нам. А вообще, кстати, забавная система, что они вот сделали такую штуку, что я могу, как сказать, в своих видениях теперь могу что-то изменять. Жалко, что только они к концу игры это сделали.
No. Rose. No, don't do it. No.
Okay. First, I'll unplug the cables that connected to the trailer.
Интересно, а генератор мы себе в карман положим? Ну да, в чемоданчик.
I still don't quite know how I managed it. But it's a generator I saved from Rose's shots. I just hope it helps us find the answers we need to explain all this craziness.
Так, окей, у нас есть генератор, осталось найти топливо.
I brought the generator you need, Chris.
Great, Michael. I knew you could do it. Give me a few minutes to set up the computer and open the report.
А, генератор уже с топливом. Так, окей.
While Chris was getting everything ready, I decided to sit down in one of the armchairs in the office. I was exhausted. My mind had been trying to make sense of the last few hours of my life for what seemed like an eternity. The first hours following my bitter birth in this new world. But how could I judge the new world if I could barely remember the old one? The only thing I was sure of was that we had lost something very valuable along the way. The photograph of our life, overnight, had turned into a dark, blurry, sepia-tinted image. All of civilization had drowned under the great wave, and the only thing left on the beach were its remains. But no, I was fooling myself. I was already lost before the catastrophe. To tell the truth, all the other victims of the great wave had been luckier than me. They still dreamed of returning to their lives. Mine had already been broken a long time ago. Did I really stand a chance of recovering something I'd already lost forever? What type of strength, what type of miracle could ever give me that second chance?
Michael, wake up!
What's happening?
The report, Michael. It's the report. I was going over it while you were sleeping. It's incredible. It's way beyond our expectations. You're gonna think I've gone crazy, but I don't even know where to start.
How about at the beginning?
Okay. It's the dead synchronicity point. The entire universe is changing, and we're going to witness it. We're going to be witnesses. And victims.
Witnesses? Victims? But what the hell are you talking about? What is this dead synchronicity point?
It's hard to explain. You're a photographer, so I'll try this analogy. Imagine a person's life chronicled in photographs. Up to now, and according to the rules that governed our universe, we were all subject to certain very specific temporal rules. Past, present, and future. That's all there was to it. So, the first thing we'd find would be a photo of the person as a newborn, then another on the person's 6th birthday, then another in college, and so on. Then we'd see photos of the person's wedding, children, old age, death. All in logical, linear, chronological order. Since our universe is conceived along a single line that starts in the past, makes a stopover in the present, and then projects into the future. Do you follow me?
Yes, of course I follow you.
Well, imagine now that this entire temporal architecture crumbles, falls apart, dissolves. Imagine that something or someone has altered the foundations of our universe, changing the rules of the game, forever annihilating our idea of time. The concepts of past, present, and future.
I think you just lost me, Chris.
Then let me continue with the metaphor of the photographs. Imagine now that a card dealer takes all these snapshots that sum up the life of this person, shuffles them, and places them in a stack in one spot on the card table. What would we have then? There would no longer be a chronological line, Michael. There would be no past, present, or future. each of the individual events captured in these photographs, they would all be happening simultaneously at the exact same point in time. And that point we would call...
the dead synchronicity point.
Exactly. Now our world is abandoning its old physical laws and getting closer to that dead synchronicity point where time no longer exists. And therefore, all the phenomena and events that happened or will happen in the universe will start to be stacked on top of other ones, like the photographs in the dealer's deck.
That sounds crazy. How credible do you think this report is?
Completely, Michael. The dead synchronicity point is a fact, and the worst thing is that we're approaching it faster and faster. It'll only be a matter of days, at best maybe a few weeks, before the universe enters this new state. Time is ending, in every sense.
And what does all this have to do with us?
Come on, do you still not see it? This change in the architecture of the universe, this nullification of time, is the real origin of the Great Wave, the dissolved, and the emergence of the new world.
Ничего не понятно. В любом квесте. В нескольких уже квестах, по-моему, такое было. Это ладно. Насчет монеток я поняла. Я ничего не поняла по сюжету. Ну, типа, события будут накладываться друг на дружку, а в плане жизни... То есть, ну... Как? Я просто не представляю, как можно миновать, допустим, стадию рождения, стадию там каких-то школьных лет и сразу стать студентом. Как так можно? Я вот насчет событий я еще более-менее поняла, что да, могут типа рандомные события происходить в мире, которые там просто перемешиваться будут между собой. А вот насчет именно продолжительности жизни, вот этих стадий прошлого, настоящего, будущего, я не очень поняла. Типа, как будет появляться новый человек? Он просто, типа, в рандомной точке будет появляться там 20-летним, а в другой точке будет появляться, не знаю, 5-летним. Типа так? Ну, типа, просто сжалось все. Между рождением и взрослением нет промежутка, типа. Ну, возможно, они таким образом объяснили, почему та девчонка в виде как бы взрослого человека ведет себя как ребенок. То есть она телом взрослая, а сама по себе она как бы маленькая. Ну вот я не очень понимаю в плане рождения новой жизни. Вот. И почему ты видишь всякое. А я почему вижу всякое? Потому что я типа какой-то там супер-пупер гений стал. Насчет себя я не очень поняла. Насчет себя. Или может он видит... У меня есть предположение, что он видит вообще не свое что-то, а видит, возможно, глазами другого человека. Ну, относительно, даже, возможно, не глазами одного и того же человека, а глазами людей разных. Может так. Ладно, в общем, все очень сложно, на мой взгляд. Значит, великую волну вызвало приближение к точке мертвой синхроничности.
So, the Great Wave was caused by this approach to the dead synchronicity point?
Yes, Michael. The Great Wave was the first manifestation of our universe's approach to the dead synchronicity point. That's why the catastrophe struck at the same time all over the planet. It wasn't just a local occurrence. It had global dimensions. It was the first clear and obvious sign that something was going wrong. And it brought chaos and misery to the world, as you've been seeing yourself since you woke up.
Я не понял твоих объяснений. Какое отношение ко всему этому имеют тающие?
What the hell do the dissolved have to do with all this?
According to the report, the dissolved are still a big mystery. There isn't much information about them or their disease. What we do know is that they are people who are especially sensitive to the dead synchronicity point, and that is what's so tragic about them.
Especially sensitive?
Of course. This transformation, this radical and overwhelming change in the basic structure of the universe, is totally incompatible with human life. We're condemned to die, Michael. Each and every one of us.
That's terrible. How can you be so sure of that?
If you think about it rationally, it's obvious. Our bodies are the product of hundreds of thousands of years of evolution, of a gradual and precarious adaptation to the environment, the universe, and its physical laws. Reaching the dead synchronicity point, the annihilation of time, we'd need another 100,000 years to adapt to such a drastic change. And what do you think will happen to the human race, to each and every one of us when this process concludes? I'll tell you. Our primary metabolism will go into a state of shock. Our entire cell structure will be jolted so profoundly and so violently that what we now call our bodies will lose all coherence, leaving behind just a brown puddle as evidence of our existence.
We'll dissolve. Like those poor sick people.
Indeed. According to the report, the dissolved are simply pioneers, people who are ahead of their time. The vanguard of the human race in its final extinction. That's why some cases started cropping up so early, even before the Great Wave. Their illness was the harbinger of the enormous explosion that was to follow. It preceded it by hours, even days. And that's why the cases are multiplying exponentially as we get closer to the end. Do you understand? We'll all end up turning into dissolved.
Ты принцип не поняла. Представь, что пробежала километр за 5 минут, а потом за минуту. В итоге не двигаясь вовсе и так со всей материей, энергией, частицами одновременно. То есть все убыстряется так, что это даже не ощущается. С какой-то точки зрения, да, убыстряется. Получается, что рождение новой жизни будет возможно, но оно произойдет так быстро, что многие тупо не заметят этого и даже не почувствуют. Ну, в этом плане теперь я поняла. Ну, то есть, получается, те, которые тающие, это у них, как сказать, вне зависимости от их реального возраста, они, типа, свою жизнь уже прожили. То есть, вот и, типа, моя жена, она, как сказать, по своему реальному времени, она, типа, просто взрослая была, а по тому времени она, как бы, уже умереть должна, вот она умерла. И также, типа, Колин. Хоть он и ребенок, но у него уже как бы все по времени, он как бы старик, поэтому тоже ушел. Типа, получается, клетки быстрее начинают стареть. Ну, наверное, так. Так, ладно. Во время нашей прошлой встречи ты сказал, что должен быть выход, способ обратить все это безумие вспять.
The last time we spoke, you told me that there could be a solution. A way to reverse all this madness.
Yes, and that's the best part of the report. Theoretically, Michael, and paradoxical as it may sound, our progress toward the dead synchronicity point also brings the opportunity to change things. To turn the process around and return to where we were before our world collapsed.
And how would that be possible?
By penetrating the very center of the anomaly, the deepest nucleus of dead synchronicity, and arriving at the point where time is just starting to fold back into itself before the process is completed. If, inside the dead synchronicity point, each and every one of the events that have happened or will happen in the universe unfold, then surely it must be possible to gain access to the moment when something or someone triggered the catastrophe and stop it.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. You're talking about time travel.
Yes, I'm talking about the possibility of accessing the past to save our present and our future, of turning the Great Wave and all its consequences into a mere nightmare that never actually happened. The report talks about the hypothetical existence of a door leading into the very heart of the dead synchronicity point, a door to each and every one of the snapshots of the past, present, and future of our universe. And if, through that door, we had a chance to access the precise instant when everything went haywire, then we might be able to change things. Michael, that's what we've got to focus on in whatever time we have left. But I have to continue studying this report. I'm sure there are more answers in it, and you have got to help me.
You're telling me that the dead synchronicity point is the origin of all this chaos? That our only chance of salvation is a theoretical journey to the past? Or sooner or later we'll all be obliterated? Like those poor dissolved?
That's right, Michael. So we'd better get to work on it as soon as possible. By the way, the report also mentions another very interesting thing about the dissolved.
What is it?
It seems that in their trances, through their trips to the underground highways, the sick form a strange relationship with each other. It's as if the disease unites them, regardless of any physical distance that might separate them. The report is very unclear on this point, but it seems as if the dissolved are somehow linked, connected.
My God. That can't be.
Remember. Please, remember.
Everything fits now. Everything makes sense.
Please. Enough. My head.
Emily asked me to tell you that we're connected, Michael. We're connected.
Michael, what's going on?
Chris, get one of those tests ready. Fast.
But what for? You don't think that you're also...
Do as I say.
Okay. Give me your hand. It's positive. Michael, you're sick. You're dissolved.
No. That can't be. No.
Сейчас его время пойдет. Нет?
Michael. Michael. Wake up.
Emily? Emily, is that you?
Please, Michael, wake up. Wake up.
Is that really you? Where am I?
Yes, Michael. It's me. You are on the underground highways.
Ну, понятно. Да. Мы растаяли, короче. В том мире мы растаяли. Ну, мы это уже знали. Ну, вообще, мне кажется, с начала игры, когда вот начинаются вот эти вот приходы, то есть уже понятно, что что-то с ГГ не то. Ну, потому что все остальные этого не видят, значит, с нами что-то не то. Плюс по ходу игры мы узнавали о том, что тающие видят события какого-то будущего, события то есть, которые либо там были уже или будут, да, вот, короче, они видят что-то в своих, ну, снах, или, ну, не знаю, как там было точно. Вот. И, ну, на этом уже прям конкретно сказали. То есть мы видим, да, мы видим прошлое, мы видим будущее. То есть у нас вот эти видения происходят. Ну, то есть это логично было предположить, что мы тающий. Прям сразу как понял и растаял. Мне кажется, далеко еще. Не, мне не кажется, что он прям там на месте растаял. Нет. Возможно, какое-то время еще прошло с тех пор, как он узнал. Но видишь как? Те, кто растаял, они как раз-таки вот в этом подземном шоссе и были. То есть она-то как? Она давно уже умерла. Но она же как вот, типа, как душа жива. Будет забавно, если окажется, что это все время он уже был растаявшим. Не, ну а как он ходил? Хотя мальчик нам тоже говорил то, что он в своих снах попадает на подземное шоссе, там ходит. Ну, тут непонятно, то есть почему тогда жена там? Жена-то умерла, давно умерла, она там. Значит, все, кто умирают, таявшие, они все оказываются там. Но я лишь могу предположить, что мы все-таки умерли. Не сразу, конечно, но, возможно, вот прошло какое-то время, да, и мы оказались там. Но теперь понятно, почему следующая игра планируется называться «Подземное шоссе». Да, потому что мы будем конкретно там находиться. Вот. Хотя, с другой стороны, а как мы тогда будем ходить? Типа, между прошлым и будущим. Как он сказал, то, что, типа, надо поменять прошлое, чтобы не наступило, типа, настоящее. Не, возможно, тогда мы не растаяли. Тогда просто непонятен будет сюжет, как там нам все решать. Напрасно вы логику ищете. Ну, учитывая, что прошло 7 лет, продолжения до сих пор нет. Я вообще не очень уверена, что продолжение будет. Вот. Но вообще сюжет круто закручен. Вот. Здорово. Ну и в целом получилось даже, я думала, что у нас сегодня будет стрим, и еще следующий стрим, и мы только закончим. А игрушка оказалась-то в целом не такой длинный. Вот. Ну, получается, половину игры за один стрим прошли. Ну, такое, не люблю про временные аномалии. Ну, вообще, кстати, еще вот в конце, когда он сказал, типа, не может быть, я тающий, когда ему перед этим Крис вот эту лекцию провел про то, что мы все тающие, мы все рано или поздно умрем, как бы, ну, растаем. Он ему столько слов сказал об этом. И тут он такой узнает, что он тающий. Он, нет, не может быть, я тающий. шарики. Ну, давай дождемся конца титров. Может, там что-то еще будет. Сыграем в шарики. Хотелось бы посмотреть. По их теории, тающий — это момент времени, точка невозврата. Ведь любой тающий, уже растворенный, полностью слился в одной точке. Значит, их растворение скорее не пик болезни, а осознание способности своей. Ну, если имеется в виду точка невозврата, теперь понятно, почему он видел... Когда он сказал то, что он увидел, как время остановилось. Когда жена умерла. Когда он с ней прощался последний раз, когда ее забрали. Он говорил о том, что он в ее глазах увидел, как время остановилось. Вот. Возможно, он как раз-таки с того момента и... Хотя не знаю, можно ли назвать это заболел. Скорее, в тот момент он стал тающим. Вот. Именно вот в ту секунду его время остановилось и начался процесс. Интересно, можно промотать титры? Что-то как-то очень много. Хотя нет, тут просто авторы, судя по всему. О, можно ускорить, смотрите-ка. Можно остановить, можно ускорить. Ну, учитывая, что я проскипала, наверное, там ничего и не было. Я думаю. Интересно, а вот эта штука была? В прошлый раз. Там от А до Я прям, ух, да-да-да. Я вот не увидела там, это типа тестеры или это разработчики? Что-то для разработчиков слишком много, больше похоже на тестеров. Ну, спасибо, что играли. Все, понятно, ладно. Ничего тут такого не было. Давайте тогда сыграем в шарики. Сейчас поставлю какую-нибудь музычку на фоне.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in us.
Насчет следующего стрима, кстати, так как игра стоит на этой неделе 2 раза, наверное, тогда во что-то еще сыграем, посмотрим ближе к тому дню. Но в любом случае стрим будет, а там уже посмотрим, что именно будет. Раз уж игру прошли, поставлю что-то другое. Благодарности всем знакомым. %99 смертей. Мне кажется, это многовато. Давайте вот 64 возьмем, допустим. Чуть больше половинки. А ты квест... не смотрела, короче, этот квест. Вот сейчас, пока вы присоединяетесь, я его посмотрю. В смысле что-то еще поставим? Ты хотела Эльнуру 2 Dishonored в неделю дать. Во-первых... Чуть-чуть потише сделаю. Во-первых, у Dishonored 1 стрим остался, он уже стоит на этой неделе. Это во-первых. Во-вторых, у Ильнура всего 2 выходных на этой неделе, и второй занят рафтом. Вот. В-третьих, Ильнур очень сильно задерживается в свои рабочие дни, поэтому ставить в его рабочий день стрим, я думаю, мы больше не будем. Вот. Скорее всего, теперь будут его стримы конкретно в его выходные. Вот. Плюс ему вернули график 5 через 2, то есть у него стабильные 2 дня выходных теперь. Ну, если только в командировку какую-то опять не отправят. Вот. Поэтому его стримы будут понедельник, вторник. Вот. Ну, я не уверена, что прям 2 дня будут его стримы, в том плане, что, возможно, один день будет наш коопный, потому что у нас понедельник коопный, и один день просто я ему отдам, он будет там Нир стримить, что угодно, что он хочет. Кстати, я этот посмотрела. Да, мне он не понравился. Просто визуально не понравился. Что это? Так еще и хоррор написано. Вообще выглядит как какой-то ремейк старого квестика прям. Прям совсем старого. Ой, там уже поехали. А я сижу, квестики смотрю. Давай, еретик. Десять. 10-8. А где 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1? Почему только 10-8? 10, 9, 8 и все. Не, вон там 5 вижу. Хорошо. И 0 там на финише. Давай, еретик. Ох, ё. Это у нас 7. Там Апа просто летит. Ой, ну это Дэми. Апа к финишу летит. Давай, еретик, 6 тебя не собьет. Алекс Сороконожка сзади пока что. Ой, Апа умер. Не получилось. Апа, ну ты был очень хорош. Ехал первым. Ильнур, надо свой канал делать, раз 2 комп. Ну а когда он будет стримить? Бать. То есть, ну, либо он будет днем стримить, потому что вечером в будние дни стримлю я, а у него понедельник, вторник выходной. И он будет стримить только 2 раза в неделю в свои выходные. И все. Ему просто некогда будет этим заниматься. Ну, а параллельно со мной из одной квартиры, как он будет стримить? Ночью пусть стримит? Не-не-не. Никаких ночных стримов. Я буду спать, я очень к этому чувствительна. Что, еретик? Там Терри уже первая. Еретик, ты 2. Ой, ты правда умер. Терри молодец, Терри сохранила свою жизнь. Терри, поздравляю тебя с победой! А вообще, вот насчет того, что компьютер ночью включен, да, я очень чувствительна к этому. То есть я не могу заснуть. Я вот что-то последние 2 дня засыпаю в час ночи, и у нас в час ночи уже, ну, в начале 2-го, где-то так, начинает светать. То есть, ну, как бы 2-й час ночи уже начинает на улице светать. Ну, за счет того, что у нас все-таки должна быть разница во времени с Москвой. Вот. То есть мы далеко по часовому поясу. Вот. И у нас время должно быть на час назад. Ну, даже, наверное, на 2 часа назад. Мы очень недалеко, кстати, от Уфы, где на 2 часа вперед. Вроде. Если я ничего не путаю. А, нет, наоборот, у нас и должно быть вперед. Неправильно сказала. Не должно быть назад, должно быть вперед. То есть время 1:30, а как будто уже больше времени. Ну, фактически, да? По световому дню. Светает, потому что там живет Света. Да. Вот. То есть время вот час ночи, а должно быть, по идее, 3. Поэтому светает. Ну, для 3 часов ночи это нормально. Потому что, ну, типа, лето, пораньше светает, нормально. А время час ночи, и начинает светать как бы рано. По реальному, по часовому времени. Не по световому, а по часовому. Вот. И получается, начинают птички петь. Я вот эти 2 дня, господи, я не знаю, как я засыпаю, но меня очень вот напрягает пение птиц за окном. Они очень не дают спать. Вот. Как-то так. Да, Терри, я тебя еще раз поздравляю с победой. Вот. Нужны беруши и маска для сна? Не знаю, да. Как-то я никогда не использовала беруши и маску. Мне, кстати, 3 карточки рафта дали. За что? Наверное, за то, что я сегодня что-то залипла в рафт. Не знаю почему. Я его установила, получается, на новый компьютер. И что-то мне прям так захотелось поиграть. Хотя мне давно уже желание было поиграть. Я все жду, когда Апа купит рафт. Жду не дождусь. Там, кстати, сегодня должна была выйти обнова, и я заметила, что новые достижения уже добавили в игру. Еще сегодня утром, когда устанавливала. Вот. Что уже есть новые достижения, связанные с новым сюжетом. А вот насчет обновы... обнова вышла в 2 часа дня. Да. Крупное обновление. Да, добавили. Добавили обнову. Новые монстры показывают. Короче, понятно. Новые предметы, новые люди, новые крафты, новые возможности. Они добавили, понятно, они с этим обновлением добавили, как во многих играх, типа вот есть карточки, эмоции, заставки. Ну, короче, они вот добавили всякое такое. А еще, походу, теперь... хотя непонятно. Такое чувство, как будто новых людей добавили 2. Нового мужчину и новую женщину. Что-то прям очень много всего. Тут прям капец. В общем, ждем рафт. Все, я жду, я хочу, дайте рафт. На 1,5 гигабайта была обнова. Вот. Ага, смотрю, ачивки там выбила. Дэм, я там ачивки выбила, те, которые, по сути, ну, как сказать, за меня некоторые дела просто сделали, типа, поставьте гриль впервые, или там скрафтите грядку впервые. То есть вот это вот эти ачивки, которых у меня нет, потому что, ну, я не занималась этим на корабле. То есть, что я делала? Я ловила рыбу, готовила. Вот, это была моя работа, по сути, как-то так. А каким-то строительством там поначалу Катя, я помню, занималась, потом Ильнур занимался строительством. Ты занимался навигацией, куда плыть, что делать, вот. А я так, я добывала еду, жарила, кормила всех. Все. А культ ягненка уже куплен у вас? Нет, не куплен, сороконожка. Он же еще не вышел. Или там типа есть предзаказ? Нет, не куплен. Мне вот Вадя подарил эту Стрей, если я правильно произношу ее, про котика. Киберпанк котика. Ждем, когда выйдет. Да. А культ ягненка тоже купим со временем. Вот. Появится возможность, купим. Сороконожку хочешь подарить? Дари. Я не против. Рафт я в любой момент могу купить, но есть ли смысл? Плюс флаши еще вроде тоже не купила. А, кстати, я же еще хотела посмотреть этот. Будут ли скидки на него? А, кстати, на него есть скидка, да. Небольшая, правда. 356 рублей он стоит. Ну, в честь выхода обновы последней. Я так понимаю, что все больше... Ну, если только они что-то такое будут дорабатывать, а в плане сюжета, я так понимаю, все, это была финальная обнова в плане сюжета. Ну, она как бы и называется финальная глава, поэтому... Скорее всего, в дальнейшем они будут только, ну, улучшать геймплей, что-то такое. Ну, дорабатывать уже вот эти моменты. Да, я по трейлеру глянул, там будто целый континент завезли. Не, по трейлеру там явно завезли очень много. Там, мне кажется, там не целый континент, там несколько отправных точек, типа вот как до него доплыть тоже. То есть не просто приплыви, типа, и делай что-то, а конкретно прям сплавай туда, потом туда, потом туда, найди того, и потом уже вот куда-то в зиму. Я видела, что там какой-то зимний биом или ну, что-то такое, что-то с зимой связанное. И в целом, да, пока скидки апа, плаши, если ты здесь. Надо засесть. Играем такие в рафты, тут бах, ВВХ. Что такое ВВХ? А, we were here. Я просто его буковками только английскими писала, поэтому не поняла сокращения. Побыстрее бы компик, чтобы стримить. Вадя, ты будешь стримить? Больше стримеров. Надо, кстати, подумать, что стримить вместо Dead Synchronicity. Раз мы ее закончили, надо что-то взять. Я буду стримить, но предупреждаю, что буду позволять себе материться. Вадя, ясно все. Я можно как и Сверхир через тебя, Каппа? Как ты через меня? В смысле через меня? У нас же Веверхир у каждого была. Так что слова нервные, тем, кто не хочет во мне разочаровываться, на мои стримы путь заказан. Вадя, но мы же в тебе не разочаровывались. Окоп, головоломку, тени... Брайнц, не знаю. Сейчас загуглю, посмотрю. Головоломку, которую ты скинул, то, что она уже вышла, ну, она давно уже вышла в 2013 году. Да, я ее видела, я добавила ее пока что в желаемое. Вот. У нее, в принципе, кооператив с общего экрана. Хотя и есть такой кооператив по сети, то есть, ну, на мой взгляд, как бы нет смысла покупать 2 раза одну и ту же игру, если можно ее купить 1 раз и сэкономить таким образом. Света пропускает сообщение. В смысле? Где я пропускаю сообщение? После стрима поймешь, о чем я. Это норма. А где я пропустила? Я все сообщения читаю. Какие я пропустила? Апа, если ты мне после стрима объяснишь, что ты имел в виду, тогда, наверное, я пойму. Так, и давайте я посмотрю, можно ли вас куда-то отправить. Потом мы с вами так будем болтать до утра. Я уж знаю. Вон, там Антоша играет в эту шляпку. Ahead in time. Текс, давайте я вам сделаю рейдик на Антошу. И все. Уведомление от Сбера. Купить тебе игру? Хорошо, Апа, куплю. Так, держите рейдик. Вот. Что вам еще сказать? Спасибо? Да? Плохо, что ли? Нет? Нет, конечно. Спасибо за то, что были со мной. Спасибо, что смотрели это прохождение. Я буду надеяться, что будет продолжение этой игры. Вот. Мне понравилось и история, и, в принципе, и геймплей. Ну, такой квестик, я бы не сказала, что сложный, какой-то непонятный. Вот. То есть, в принципе... Ну, пару затупов у меня было, ладно, окей. Но в целом легко прошел. Вот. Так что будем ждать продолжения. Вот. Все, ребят, хорошего вам вечера, сладеньких снов. И всем пока-пока.